and welcome to another big episode of Fourever Rivals. How is everyone? What are you doing there, Marco? The prop man. What's the prop man got for us today?
Oh, marshmallows.
I got the marshmallows, guys. Come on.
Hey, Marco,
Marshmallows game.
who are you alleging might be a bit soft?
Well, it's the marshmallows game, mate. So I'm just having a couple of quiet marshmallows. Do you want some, boys?
Hey, Manny, do you know what the marshmallows game is?
No, I don't know.
Of course you don't, because you don't follow footy. The marshmallow game is between Richmond and Essendon, right? When they were throwing marshmallows at them. So I know what you were trying to say. How about you leave the footy talk? How about you leave the footy talk to us, and you just try to do your funny moves? All right. So here we go. We got our favorite here, Matula, our favorite Greek. This is going to be fun tonight. And she's got a smiley. Oh, she's got a bit of a scary face and a bit of a crying face. We know what that's for. And we got we got Rocco here. How are you, buddy? And all the favorites. We've got Jai and Peter Bluebaggers.
He's just corrected you there, Rocco. So
Peter Bluebagger.
That's right.
That
so
was the
there you go. You were trying to prove a point.
You're right, North Melbourne, Essendon.
I thought I'd give you the limelight, and you went.
Yeah, shut up. The limelight. Did you go to the game this week?
Did I go to the game?
No, did Magpie Manny go to the game?
No, I didn't go to the game.
Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. So you're going to try to analyse it through the TV again.
We're going to try and analyse it from what.
Hey, how many games did you go to last year, Manny?
3.
Did you go to the grand final?
Yes.
So that is a fucking disgrace. That you, with no membership, right, took away a spot from an actual supporter. You're an absolute disgrace to all supporters. I don't want to hear it. You don't deserve to celebrate.
You're a member.
How are you, mate? Tiger Den, how are we going?
Oh, pretty flat, if I'm being completely honest. But we're here, boys. You front up every week. It's what footy's about.
Tiger, yellow and black.
I haven't heard that in a while.
Well, you hear it at the start of the game, don't you?
Well, the last time I heard that song, Mark, was when you butchered it a few weeks ago on this show. That was the last time I heard it. So I'm looking.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. Very true.
Well, you might have a chance to sing it this weekend, mate. You just don't know. Eh?
I was going to get to the game early enough.
And then we'll
save the Dreamtime chat.
Then we've got, of course, we got Magpie Manny, again, the worst supporter in the business. How are you going?
Hey, very good evening to everybody. Very good evening to everybody.
Very good. And then we've got, of course, Marco should be on top of the world now, but he's also our proud sponsor with Corton Security Door and Blinds. So let's have a quick look at that, and thanks to our sponsor. Here we go. Corton Security Doors and Blinds. They do all. Did you want me to sing the song again? Is this going to be my job every week, is it?
Oh, you might as well.
You've got the voice for it, so go for it.
You signed yourself up, Rob.
I doubt I got the fucking voice for it, but I fucking put myself out there now that I've got a bloody door. If you want your family to be safe, Corton Security Doors and Blinds is the place. Don't support a Fourever Rivals and a really top mate. And don't forget to ring 83394848. And don't forget to ring 83394848.
Yes. Give us a call on 8339 4848 for a free measuring quote. Obviously, we're based in the northern suburbs, guys. Protect your home and most importantly, your family, eh? And we're still offering that 10% discount if you just mention Fourever Rivals and the Jumper Punch, of course. And you get 10%
Fourever Rivals, but the Jumper Punch, Fourever Rivals, correct?
Correct. So, yeah, give us a call, 8339 4848 We are direct manufacturers. We're not resellers. So any of those services that you require, friends, family, builders, renovators, give us a call, 8339-4848. Be there, be square, as they say.
Have you noticed how I've been putting a bit of fucking like mustard on the song now? I reckon it's getting better over the weeks. What do you reckon, guys?
You're starting to hit new notes I didn't know existed, Rock. It's
I don't think anyone knows those notes existed.
I reckon if you hold the wine glass up while you sing, it would shatter the glass. That's where you're peaking at right now. I'm
telling you, Mark, if we do something together, this could be like the new bloody national bloody tile fucking commercial, or Ken Bruce has gone mad. Remember that commercial? We could be the new
National Tiles, Franco Cozzo. Mate,
Franco Cozzo. We could be the new Franco Cozzo.
You'd be quite surprised. It's all about the lyrics. It's all about the repetitive type lyrics to that, and you'd be quite surprised you get some calls out of it. So let's just keep it going, boys. Happy to help anybody out there.
We're going to go the early crow like you've been going, and are you going to give an extra discount if you win a final?
That's
how confident.
All right. Yeah. Okay. If we do win a final,
you got to win a final. Yeah.
If we win a final, any viewers out there that want a proposal or a quote for any of our services, I'm happy for 15%. That's it. I can't do any more than that, because otherwise
you've got to win the final. So everyone is going to be hoping you win it. No, not really. I reckon everyone's just going to still hope you lose the final. I'd rather pay an extra.
But don't wait for that, because obviously it's towards September. So
no, of course.
Yeah, we're quite busy. So lock it in before then.
We're going to do that. All right. So we have got some more stuff to talk about. So the stage show is being set and it's all done. It's on June the 15th. We've got a stage show. You guys will be there. I'm sure you're going to buy your tickets soon. We've got here. Yes, you are. There you go. There it is. It's all set up. The 15th is at the Lazio Club. We have got $20 for seating, or $55 if you want a meal. You get a free course meal and a drink, and you get to watch the show, and they're tables of 10. So we've got 40 on the tables and we've got 60 on the floor. So we want everyone to get out there and get those tickets, because I'm sure, yous will be there. We're going to get a whole bunch of people coming up on stage, and we're going to have a big night. There's an open bar there. So we want everyone to get out there, buy those tickets, and let's have a big night, man. The 15th of June, Saturday. That's in 3 weeks' time.
I haven't received my invitation yet, mate, as a guest.
There's your invitation. You get onto the website. The link is going to be below. So click onto the link to get your tickets, and your invitation is when you purchase a ticket, mate. What do you think this is?
Right. Okay.
If you don't want to come, that's fine. I'll get the other guys to come up on stage. It's up to you. I'm going to get the crowd on stage. There'll be 40 players on stage. We're going to have a ball. So So there's your invitation, man.
Yep. I'll be there, Rock. I've just got a couple of little concerns about the week after, because
I know.
Well, we play Carlton the week before that, so if we win, I don't feel comfortable going.
Nah, you've got to come, man. You're going to lose, so it's going to be a hard night.
We're going to lose. If we win, what happens? I'm going to get murdered. So I'll have to win.
You won't get murdered. The crowd loves you.
Security doors.
The crowd loves you, mate. You can come with your security doors. The crowd loves you, man. So you're going to come.
Manny's my security management, and Quinn's going to be my left side security. The tiger there. He's like.
100%, man.
So I'm a little bit concerned about that night, Rock. So, but
no, don't be concerned.
I will make the effort to go there, mate.
Don't be concerned. Just don't give you any of your stupid statements, and you should be right for the night, mate. You should be right for the night.
Really? Oh,
well, right now, Mark,
I can't guarantee it. I'm just saying.
Right now, your team is doing all the talking.
It's not the Carlton show here, mate.
Hey, listen.
No,
right
but
now,
it will be the Carlton live show.
The Essendon Football Club at the moment is doing all the talking on the field. So it doesn't matter what Marco says. It's one of those things. When your team's winning, you're winning. Yeah.
Correct.
If your team's not winning and you're only playing a quarter football, well.
Oh, here we go. Now you said that during the week. I want to know what stats have you got for that, Manny? Or you're going to do what you did again tonight? You just rock up at 22 past 7.
Did I mention anyone's team?
Tell me. Yeah, no, you did. So what?
No, I didn't.
What stats have you got, Manny? What stats have you got, Manny?
Well, I just want to ask a question. Did I mention Carlton? Did I actually mention Carlton?
You mentioned it before we went on live. So, yeah, you did. You mentioned it before you went on live. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I'm going to tell all the audience what you did. You mentioned it before you went on live, and I said, I hope you got the stats. So I'm waiting for them.
Well, you want the stats? I mean, are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm only going off.
You can't come up with a statement and then just say, so that means anyone can just blah, 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 say whatever you want without anything backing you up.
Listen, stop waving your arms around like that because you look like one of the Wiggles. First and foremost, a couple of the guys on your show last night, the Jumper Punch, great show. Great viewing.
Which guy and what did they show and what stat did they talk about?
Well, they both turned around and said that you got at the moment Carlton's playing the quarter football
against Sydney.
Wow. What about against Melbourne? You were just lucky.
Melbourne, we were leading with 10 minutes to go. How can we play a quarter if we're leading at 3? If we're leading with 10 minutes to go, how can we play? Answer the question. Answer the question. How can we be leading at 10 minutes to go and only play one quarter?
Because you scored 10 goals in that first quarter.
No, we never. We never scored 10 goals in the first quarter. No, we're not. We were never more than about 30 points up. So we didn't score 10 goals in the first quarter. It was 5 goals to 0. Okay,
well, there you go. So I rest my case. You played
one
quarter.
Your case?
And that was the first quarter.
No, you didn't. We won the second one. We actually won the second quarter, and we were even in the third. So how did we do it? So again, you were wrong. So again, you were wrong. In Geelong, we just lost by a couple of goals. So that's not correct. Against Collingwood, we didn't play any quarter. Against GWS, we won. So we had to play 4 quarters.
What about
against Adelaide? Shut up. Against Adelaide, right? We just lost. So we couldn't have played a quarter there. Against Freo, we won. Against North, we won. Against Richmond, we won. Against Brisbane, we won. So where did we play these quarters, Manny? Where's the one quarter? Where's the one quarter?
Let me finish. Can I answer?
No.
Seems to be a lot of winning there, Rocco.
Yeah.
A lot of winning there.
You know we've won 6.
I know. And you know you're out of the...
So there's 6 wins there. So where is the one quarter stat?
Well, last week.
You know what you are. You listen to other people and you try to be funny and you just repeat people. Shut up. Get over it, mate. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You know what? At least become original. At least be original. That was Marco what he said. That wasn't you, so shut up. All right, let's get on to it. Let's get on to it because, again, I'm dealing with idiots here. All right. What do we got here? Jimmy R is always here. He looks like one of those inflatable signs outside the factory. I do. All right. Let's just see. This Jimmy just wants us to lose, and he's a Carlton supporter, just so you can see me lose it on the show. That's fantastic. All right, let's get into this because we have got some stuff to talk about. Let's get into this. Fourever football, Fourever footy. What do we got to talk about this year? So we did work out some stuff here, And let's have a look at the first thing. The first thing, there was a big suspension in the reserves this week. Did everyone see it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What I'll do, I have got a bit of footage I did find. So let's have a look at it and tell me what you think about it. Here he goes. Bang. Let's have a look at that one again. This is Luke Parker from Sydney. Bang. There you go. And he got 6 weeks for that. What do you reckon, guys? Especially you, Mark. You didn't think get 4 weeks for something that wasn't even as bad as that?
Yeah. Oh, looking at something like that, it obviously was a VFL game, but if it was a obviously a seniors AFL game, I reckon he would have got 10 weeks, mate. So he was lucky to get 6 weeks for that. You know, well, yeah, I reckon, mate. Honestly, it was because it was a reserve.
You reckon they would give him a bigger? You think they would give him a bigger penalty in the AFL?
I think so, because it's more shown on live TV and the media with the AFL. So it all directs to the young kids out there playing football. But yeah, obviously it was a seconds game, and he got 6 weeks for something like that. If it was honestly on live TV on a Friday night, I think he would have got probably a little bit more than that. It's not acceptable. Doesn't matter what the case was. The young fella, mate, he was knocked out, fractured skull, fractured eye as well. It's the way the game is going at the moment. Yeah, he is a tough player, Luke Parker, but he's got
he was concussed. He suffered a concussion, multiple fractures to the eye socket, and they won't be able to operate until they're ready, because who knows, I suppose, because it's the eye socket of that. So
to create that kind of injury to a player, obviously it's got to be significant, mate. You don't see that every day, every week in the game of football. So obviously, because it was a low key type game, I think he was lucky to get 6 weeks. But if it was on national prime TV, I think he would have got 8 to 10 weeks, mate. That's my feeling about it. It's not acceptable. The young kid now has got to suffer through this and try and recover. As for Luke Parker, obviously, he'll regain himself and get over it. But it's sad to see, mate, players like that.
Yep. Other guys, Manny?
Can I ask the question here? Obviously, it was a VFL game. Now, are all VFL games televised?
No.
Okay.
Not all are on. They're not all on like TV, but they're all on the. I'm pretty sure they're all on the AFL app. Like they're all filmed. They might not have commentary. There was footage of all of them. Yeah.
So my question is the match review different when it comes to it shouldn't be, right? Because it's the
same match review.
Yeah. Now, this player that did what he did, he's an experienced player, right?
Luke Parker is a champion, mate.
Right. So you can obviously you can see that this bloke is frustrated, right? Because at the moment the Swans are, the A side of the league. So anyone that's missing out, obviously, is playing in the VFL, is trying to prove themselves. Now, what all he's done is basically he has totally lost so much respect. Now, had he been some young player, a rookie, trying to, show that he's tough, etc. But to me, it was just a very, very coward act. And he didn't even show any remorse to sit there and say, you know what, shit, I've done what I've done. I realised that it's gone a bit too far, and he's just, this is what ruins the game, and this is why all of a sudden you get the AFL who gets so tough, and they're so compassionate to try and get rid of this kind of behaviour, right? That all of a sudden it's going to become one of those situations where even if you do a fair bump on a player, we're just going to turn around and say, you know what, we don't care anymore. The act is still the same. The bump looks the same. The what they call it, the mechanics of the human body is the same, and it'll just ruin the sport, and it's because it's that kind of coward act. To me it was just shocking. It was a bit like that other one that's killed a player, was it? I can't remember, at the start of the season.
Jimmy Webster.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Is he going to learn from those 6 weeks? No, I don't think he will. I don't think he will.
First of all, you'd probably know. Is it the same governing body, Quinn?
I was under the impression it was, but I could be wrong. But I thought it was. So, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a separate VFL tribunal. There we go.
So was Maynard cowardly too?
Yeah, I wouldn't say many that it was a coward's act, because that's a strong word in some ways too many. But
I just think he went to shepherd him, and he just went.
He went to what? Go back to the replay. Yeah. And where was that shepherd? The ball was a mile away. What was he trying to shepherd?
No, what are you talking about, Manny? He was shepherding.
Go back.
He was shepherding his player. What are you talking about?
You go back and show me, because if you're
where
calling
is
the ball? Where is the ball?
Yeah.
Where are the players running?
It's right in front of him. It's there. It's right in front of him. He's stopping the player.
There. Come on, Rocco. Come on. He's trying to shepherd.
What is he doing? All right, then. See, this is why this show goes for 3 hours.
I don't think Parker.
What do you think he was doing, man? What do you think he was doing?
Shepherd the player when you got the ball, you're near the ball or whatever. You had the two players in front that were trying to contest the ball.
Right? That's right. So what do you do as a good player? You block and shepherd other players from going to get the ball.
Come on, man. That's not blocking. He had no hope of that other player getting to that ball because there was two players well in front of him.
I don't know what you're saying, man. To me, he got him high and it was a brutal hit. But to say it was cowardly in that, I think you're way off.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
No,
he didn't go out there and snipe the He didn't go out there and snipe the player.
I'm telling you, the player, this bloke is a fucking sniper. This bloke is. Maynard's a fucking sniper.
Yeah,
Maynard is the one who ruined someone's career and then ended up playing in a grand final. But yet you call that, right? You call that fair, right? And you call this bloke who's trying to shepherd. Shut up. All right, yeah. You are black and white, mate. You just see it in your colours and that's it.
No.
Quinn, what do you reckon?
No, you got it wrong.
I reckon this is honestly a matter of inches that has honestly decided what's happened here. Because if he hits him 3 centimeters lower, hits him up his shoulder, he doesn't get knocked out. His face isn't broken in all sorts of ways, and this doesn't even get mentioned. So I think it's the MRO being more outcome based than action based, and I've seen this guy get his face fractured, knocked out, concussed, and all of a sudden, it's a 6-week suspension. So look, I think the suspension is there. You have to rule him out. You can't not. And honestly, like you say that 6 weeks might not be enough, and it might not be. But if you look at it this way, that's 6 more weeks now that Luke Parker's not getting back into the VFL side, let alone the AFL side. That's right into when finals is deep. Sydney probably aren't going to change their team heading into finals. So that's probably Parker's season now in terms of at AFL level. So while 6 weeks on paper doesn't sound like a lot, it's probably written off his AFL season now as well because of this.
Not really, Quinn. Maybe Richmond should start chasing him over there, mate.
What's that?
Maybe Richmond should start chasing him over there, mate. It's not over.
Well, then his season would really be over.
We're already giving him over, mate. It's all over for him, mate. I'm pretty sure Richmond will take him right now.
Yeah. Well, if he was available, we would. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about something like that a bit later. But, yeah, as I said, you're right, man. He gets him on the chest, and all of a sudden who knows if he even gets suspended, you know what I mean? But he got him high. And, look, at the end of the day, let's face it, it's on outcome. This bloke gets back up and runs off. He's not getting 6 weeks. He'll probably get a week. You know, he breaks his cheekbone and concussed, he gets 6 weeks. It is what it is these days. You know what I mean? So,
well, let me ask you another question. What was the score at the time that happened?
Don't know.
Was it really close? Was it last minute type of thing? And
why does that matter?
We don't watch it, Manny, mate. We just see the news on it.
Why? I don't even know why that matters. It doesn't matter when it was.
Well, because to me, it's a case of how do you justify, the fact that you're trying to shepherd the player because it was a close game, because it was going to make a big difference.
Irrelevant.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Is that the only time then you go hard and shepherd, is it?
No. But what I'm saying is, if you're the one who's sitting there being so compassionate about it and you're trying to justify it to me,
I didn't justify it. I never justify it. What I said was, what you said it was cowardly, but it wasn't for me.
That was a coward act. He's sitting there and he's, come on, man. Come on.
How would you know when you don't even go to the game to watch, man?
This is not football.
I'll ask Quinny because he actually plays at the moment. How many times would you shepherd? I'm not saying you're going to raise your elbow. How many times would you do that, Quinn, during a game and try to shepherd so a player can get to a ball or block a contest? You know what I mean? That bloke's running full bolt. So by you just putting your arm out isn't going to stop him. You're going to have to put some force to make sure he doesn't continue forward, correct?
Yeah, 100%. It was a classic as well. Just two guys going full pelt running at each other. Parker just clipped him high. Like that's
got him high.
That's all it was. And you've got to rule him out.
Block him.
They were running at each other.
No, Parker. Josh Smith was running at the footy, and Parker was running at him.
Mate, that's it. Yeah, exactly. They weren't both running.
But he was running. He was stopping his run from getting to the contest because the ball was dribbling along. It was along the ground. No one had possession of it at the time. But like you said, Manny, there was the two blokes contesting the ball. Parker was trying to stop the third from getting involved in the contest, and he got him high. And you've got to cop that suspension. If you opt to pump, it's the rule.
It's a coward act. I'll bring in the expert in. The expert reckons it's a coward act.
I think the coward act is you trying to act tough and be with those comments. That's the cowardly act.
No. I actually cringe. I mean, look, football has changed over the years. Yeah. 25 years ago, right? We wouldn't even be talking about it because,
Yeah, no, but that's 25 years ago. We're talking about in this day and age.
It was a mugs and thugs game. Yeah. But not anymore. Things have changed.
But that wasn't a fug kind of. Anyway, this is why this show goes for so long. All right, Mark, any last points on that?
There's not much, mate. Honestly, to knock somebody out and fracture their skull or their eye socket, I don't think it's just a normal basic hip and shoulder or hit, mate. So, mate, he should have got a lot more than what he's been.
Yeah, no. So, I'm definitely not saying. I'm not saying he shouldn't have got that. He definitely should have got the 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it was.
I think he should have got
100%. He should have got that.
These days, players are getting 4 or 5 weeks for just knocking out a player, just knocking them out. This player got knocked out. Plus, his skull was fractured. So
he could be out. He could be out for the season.
Well, it's sad, mate. You don't want that to happen with any player, but yeah, at least.
But again, you don't want it to happen, but you don't want the game to turn soft where they don't do that stuff.
No, right. Certainly not.
So what happens now? This player's been fractured. You said his skull's been fractured. Is that right?
His eye socket.
Right. His eye socket. All right. What happens all of a sudden if some doctor that's got balls, some doctor that's got kahunas, who's not scared to tell the AFL how it is, turns around and says, you know what? That coward act that you don't call a coward act has now totally destroyed the future of this young man.
Maynard did exactly that. He did that. He stopped.
So let me ask you a question now.
He ruined someone's career. He doesn't play anymore because of the cowardly act.
Maynard
so
ruined his career.
Maynard? What should we do with Maynard? Should we take away his premiership medal?
Are you serious? You are so.
I'm exactly serious. That was a cowardly act. He should never have jumped up high and collected him. Manny, stop seeing things through black and white, mate. Stop seeing things through black and white.
Protect the players. Yeah. Protect the players at all costs, mate.
100%. I agree. You've got to protect the players. So 100%. As I said, it's one of those things. He got the 6 weeks. It's funny because I think the bigger story there is like what Quinn said, right? That Sydney's playing well. He can't get into the side, and he's one of their quality players. What does this do for his future for the rest of the year and possible premiership? That's the bigger thing.
100%. But that's the going forward now. He's an older player. Sydney's got a young midfield that are all stars at the moment. Unless there's injuries, he probably doesn't find his way back in now. So obviously, the bigger picture is, the bloke that's had his eye socket fractured and all the rest of it. But in terms of an AFL story, Luke Parker potentially missing finals because of an act like this is huge.
And I do love the satisfaction of taking Manny off. Anytime he wants to put up that shit premiership side, I'll fucking take him off every single day. And even the people are laughing at you. When Maynard done it, that was a football act. Someone else does it, that's cowardly.
Are you comparing those two? Are you comparing those two?
100%. Yeah. Because Maynard could see that there was no chance of getting to the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how would you know? How would you know from seeing it on TV?
What happened? Did it go to the match review?
Yes.
Oh, and what happened, Rocco?
And he didn't get and he got off. But does that mean it's right? Does that mean it's right?
So there's two questions here. Either the experts are not getting it right.
Well, we know that's the case. We know that's the case because we argue about it every week.
Yeah, or there's something wrong there. Maybe there's just maybe the interpretation is all wrong. Now you've got to move away from that Maynard thing. You really got to move on from that because that's got nothing to do.
Because you brought it up because it's unreal and things said it perfectly. Maynard was a football act and he ruined someone's career, but yet Luke Parker is like cowardly. Are you serious, Manny? On the football field, you think that's cowardly?
Yeah.
Listen, don't double down on things because you look.
No. I call it as I see it, mate. I see it both ways. Whereas you call it because you want to be controversial. I know you, Manny. No. You want to know the truth? You didn't even know about this until we brought it up just before the show. So let's be serious. You didn't even know about it. Are you serious or what?
Oh, I'm 100% serious. You did not know about this until just before the show.
Really?
100%.
I must have slowed
down. All right, let's look at another one.
I must have slowed that down so many times.
Yeah, all right, whatever. What happened to Harrison Jones, Manny?
Harrison Jones. Is that the player from North Melbourne?
I don't know. I'm asking you. Since you watch everything,
are we talking about the ex-North Melbourne player?
What happened to Harrison Jones? I'm asking you. That's coming up next. Okay. I want your opinion on the Harrison Jones.
Well, before I give my opinion on that, I remember about 6 weeks ago, you were the one who turned around and said, because it was in the hands of the courts, that we weren't allowed to discuss anything about it.
This has got nothing to do with the courts. This has got to do with Harrison Jones.
All right. Well, bring up the question.
Well, apparently you've watched everything, and now and then you have your opinion, and now all of a sudden you don't know what's going on.
I happened to watch that.
I put that down 2 hours ago, and you didn't even have the right to. You didn't even have the decency to check it out so we can talk about it.
Hey, let me go get some marshmallow.
Here we go. Shut up. Here we go. And this,
Manny,
this
I'll
is
help you out on that one there, mate.
Bang.
I'll help you out.
This has got to do with you, Marco. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
That's the best vision I could get. You saw it. What do you think?
Yeah. Cut a long story short, guys. Obviously, Harrison Jones is not a malicious player. He's not that type of player that would go out and intentionally sling a player. Going by that replay there, he did tackle him by the shirt front, bore him down, continuously tackled him, and went to ground as a sling tackle. Got 1 week, didn't contest. You can't contest anymore, mate. You just can't contest. The tribunal, forget it. 1 week, cop it on the chin and move on. But maliciously, I don't think he deserved the week. He might maybe a fine because his record tells that he's not one of those players. You know what I mean? So it's hard to see it, but I don't think he should have got a week. But yeah, obviously, if the guy got knocked out, it might have been a bit more different. But he got up, kept on playing. So where's the rules going here now?
I think it's the motion, Mark. Let's be serious.
The motion. But was a player knocked out?
Motion. You can't, because that's potentially that can be
potentially. But was the player knocked out?
No, but if he was knocked out, he would have got more.
I actually don't think there was anything in that. And I think it was Essendon's coach who was really, really upset about the fact that he was talking something about, maybe we need to discuss, question some of these decisions, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't worry what the Essendon coach or what any coach of a player who gets suspended says, because he's always going to back his, and he'll always say, every single time, he'll always say in a press conference, I didn't see it. Always. He never says it.
There you go. That's why sometimes I like watching the games from at home on my TV, because I get to see these things. As
what
you
are
just
you
said,
talking about? In a press conference, it's got nothing to do with it. Of course the coach has seen it. I'm saying
you can't call them liars now, Rocco.
Oh, fuck, shut up, Manny. In a press conference, a coach will always say he didn't see it because he doesn't want to be questioned about it, right? And then he's always going to back his player, right? He's always going to. So I don't care what the coach says. At the end of the day, let's face it, he's slung tackle. You can't grab someone. See, that's two motions, what he did. And that's the issue. Yeah. He's grabbed him and then he slung him around. You can't do it.
Correct.
He deserves a week.
But the initial grab was like pretty fair by the way he grabbed him.
Yeah. And then what did he do?
Well, his arms are exposed to hand pass. So the player's going to initially try and tackle the second option so he doesn't get rid of the ball rock. That's what's happening, mate. It's
I know, but you know they can't
hold the ball, mate. Hold the ball, holding the ball.
I understand, but you know they can't do it.
Well, that's where it's becoming like too, like fussy now about how you tackle a player. How do you tackle the player anymore, mate? You can't bring him to the ground. You can't.
To me, that looks like a soft tackle.
You can't. No,
it's a week,
man. Are you fucking serious? You saying this is a soft? He's grabbed him and watch this, bang. What are you talking? How can that be soft? He's grabbed him and then he slung him around and he smashed his head on the ground.
Stop
trying to argue every
that's
a dangerous.
Hang on. If I'm not mistaken, hey, Quinn,
you get carried away, mate. You get carried away. The interpretation? Smashed him on the ground. Did he get knocked out? He didn't.
Hang on, Quinn. You're
trying to pin now, Rocco, every single little tackle, right? That was a legit tackle to me, mate. The play didn't go off. It wasn't concussed.
Part of it.
What is the player supposed to do, mate, in that circumstance? Didn't he go?
Not sling him. You're supposed to just hold him there. You don't sling him.
What's the interpretation? Is it good with the interpretation?
It's a sling.
What's out of the rule?
You can't sling it.
Yeah, what's cost him? Because I'm watching it here as well in slow-mo. I've slowed it down to have a look properly because when you watch it, it's he grabs him and then there's that spin and bang and he's dumped his head into the ground. You can't, right? That's why the week was there. But I think Jones is stiff because if you look at it, the momentum is what swings them both around, and that's. But it's like it's unlucky, but it's same as the bump. It's the same as the bump in the sense that Parker wouldn't have been aiming for his head, but he missed.
Correct.
And same as Jones, he wouldn't have been intending to dump, but the momentum swung in that way, and that's what happened. That's why it's a week.
If Jones knocked him out, how long would it have been?
Couple.
Yeah, it would have been 3, I reckon, because it would have been 3. I think if you knocked him out,
depending on how bad the concussion. Depending on how bad the concussion.
Yeah, it depends how bad, but I reckon it would have been 3 if you got knocked out. But I don't know if you guys saw. So this is another thing that adds to this as well. I can't remember an Instagram page or something like that. They put up a poll and they said, "Do you think there was anything in this? Yes or no?" Everyone was giving their opinions. Zach Fisher, who actually got tackled there, said no. He voted on the poll and said he thought there was nothing in it. So it just goes to show that it was just unlucky. I reckon it was just the momentum. It took them both. But the sling was there and he hit his head, so you have to pay it.
If you sling a player and they hit their head, you're going to get suspended because they're trying to say you can't sling someone and hit their head. They're trying to protect their head. They're trying to do that. So that's the thing, you know what I mean? So, but you were saying that
the head tackle was not just about slinging. The head tackle was all about like the shoulder, going for a mark, putting your knee on somebody's head and knocking him out. So it's all about protecting the head. It's not about just a sling tackle. It's all about protecting the player's head. So
as far as I know, but as far as I know, take away that it was an Essendon player, Mark. Take away that it was an Essendon player, right? No, I'm serious here. Take away that it was an Essendon player, right? The rule is you can't sling a player. What's so hard to understand about that, right? And if you do and they hit their head, the AFL come down on you. A week is exactly what he deserves.
You know what, Rock? Some players actually fake the sling tackle. All right,
but that's another issue. But that's what's happening because we're talking about this incident.
This incident, he should have got it a week. That's fine. I'm happy not to contest it. But okay, we move on from there. But players these days are starting to learn the trade. It's like anything. Learn the trade to get the free kick. If it's in the back, they'll dive. If you get tackled, I'll just dive and get a free kick. They are learning the trade. If these umpires don't click on straight away, it's going to be a funny game, mate, because there's too many players that now
are starting to switch. That's not the players' fault. It's just once they bring out these, just remember in footy, any rule they bring out, any rule, right?
Correct.
The coaches and the players will adapt to it.
Correct.
100%. But that still doesn't take away what he did.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Right.
But
that's it.
You'll see some games that the players will act for that free kick, and the umpire will pay it.
And they act in a million free kicks. That's not the point. If you sling, right, it's just like if you bump, right? The bump used to be a big part of the game.
Yeah.
Right? But if you bump
now
and you get him high, you get suspended. So you choose to bump.
Now, all of a sudden, now that player is going to think twice about bumping another player.
100%.
That's not good. That player is going to think twice.
And you know what? And the coaches also now train them for that.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what my point is. But you can't keep doing that, Rock. You can't. We're not playing fairy tale football, mate. It's a contact sport. So where do we go to? Stop. Don't move. You're on the mark. Don't move. Stand. What are you standing for? Play on.
Yes. They pick the ruckman now. The ruckman's got to be chosen, or else there's no ruckman. Like all these rules, the deliberate rule. It is what it is. But I'm just, listen, man. He slung him. he deserves a week. He breaks his jaw doing it. He'll get 4.
Correct. Yeah.
100%. We know it's outcome.
Yeah.
It's outcome. You know. So anyway, what's next? I reckon the next one we do is well, what do we got here for? Oh, this one's for you. You brought this one up. Dusty coming up to his 300th game. And
absolutely.
No press conferences until then, I hear. Is that true?
Yes. Yeah. So from what I've heard, he has no intention of doing any press conferences, any interviews, anything leading up. The only thing he's agreed to do is, in Richmond do this with every 300 game player. All the players that have played 300 games, they all get together and they take a photo outside of Punt Road next to the Jack Dyer statue. And he's agreed to do that with some of the past Richmond champions, but he doesn't want to do any sort of media and things like that. I've got my opinion on it. The thing I want to ask is, and Buddy Franklin was similar. He was media shy as well. Didn't want a lot to do with the media. Should players be expected to do these sorts of things? Or if Dusty goes, it's my 300th, I don't care, I don't want to do anything for it, is that he's right as well? I've got personally, it doesn't bother me. It's we're just used to that at this point. We're used to him not wanting to do this stuff. But what do you guys think? Like if this was, obviously they're different, so it's hard to compare. But like Rocco, if this was Cripps playing his 300th and he didn't want to do a press conference or he didn't want to do an interview or anything, any media leading up to it, would you be filthy or would it not bother you?
I wouldn't be filthy because for me personally, all these, to tell you the truth, all these interviews, press conferences are all bullshit. You know, they're all the questions are already, they know what they're going to be asked. They're very soft questions. Like there's nothing there. Like even you look at coaches' press conferences, right? Do they ask, I'll give you one for us, you know, like we lose the game to the Collingwood one, I'll give you, right? We lose the one to Collingwood. Did they ask him what was the thought between bringing those 4 players in when they've had no match fitness? No. The questions are, you know, you lost it in the second quarter. It's the same questions. The same when a player goes out. He's playing 300. He's playing 4,000 games. He's kicked. He's got 10,000 possessions. I don't know. To me, I don't really care about press conferences. But to answer that question would be, if he doesn't want to do it, he shouldn't do it. But then the problem is the club has got sponsors. The club has got commitments. The club and the player have probably got commitments with the AFL that they have to do so many press conferences. They have to do so many interviews. You know, you think about it, you know, after a game, they have to go and do a press conference as the coaches. Do you think the Richmond coach this week wanted to do a press conference? No, I'm serious. That's the last thing he wanted. But and do you know if he doesn't do it, they get heavily fined, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, the dictators. AFL dictatorship, of course.
Yeah. But no, but it's not just, Manny, it's not just the AFL dictate. It's like part of sponsorships. It's part of commitments. Like when they started the year, they'll go, right, you've got to do so many of this. You've got to do this. You've got to do this. So to me, I wouldn't care if he does it. It doesn't mean anything to me, but I don't know. I think Peter
Bluebagger pointed out as well. He said, aren't players forced to do a presser as part of their recent wage rise? And yeah, I'm pretty sure there is an expectation of certain media commitments, but it's not really a loophole, but the loophole is you don't have to do it. But like you said, Rock, you just cop a fine. And I feel like someone of Dusty's sort of financial status will probably just rather cop the fine and not do it and just go about his life. So
but he'd also had pressure from the club.
There is, but I think the club's also pretty good with him in the sense that they're happy to just let him do whatever he wants. I feel like he's at that point now where they're just like, do what you got to do, sort of thing. And I don't mind it because, like you said, those press conferences that they're all media trained, they're fake. They're not, you know. If I was speaking to him one-on-one and got a conversation out of him, maybe something different. But I don't know. You don't get anything hard hitting in these sorts of press conferences, like you said. So I agree with you. To me, it doesn't really worry me too much. It's more for the fanfare, though. On the Richmond pages and things like that, there's Richmond supporters that are dirty because, like, oh, I want to hear from him. He's been such a champion. I want to hear more from him. I'm like, but we've never heard anything. Like, what's going to change now? Like, you're not going to hear anything groundbreaking. He's going to say something boring like, yeah, it's pretty special. Well, that's all you're going to get out of him. So, yeah.
So Darren says it perfectly. He should do it different. He's a great player. Let him do it his way.
Every team needs a Darcy Moore.
Oh, he's full of shit, Darcy Moore.
He's the worst, man.
The bloke speaks so well-mannered. He's so educated, the way he conducts himself, the way he 100%, man. This bloke is
like complete opposite to you. The other thing is about, I swear to God, every time we have a serious discussion, Manny comes up with the biggest load of shit, Darcy Moore. Everyone's sick of Darcy Moore, man. They think he's the biggest fake fraud there is. Anyway, the other thing is Darcy less. He's Darcy less. Listen, the other thing about these press conferences, right, is that so you've pulled me off because of your stupidity. Yeah. Mark, what do you reckon about it? And I'll get back to you.
What's that with Dusty Martin?
No, well, we know about Darcy Moore as a fraud, but what do you think about should he be forced to make the press conference?
Who, Darcy Moore?
No, far out. Bloody Dusty Martin.
Dusty Martin. Don't worry about Dusty Martin, mate. Dusty Martin, he'll have his time to speak about his football when he retires. He's a very subtle person, very kind of reserved as a player, not like a Patrick Dangerfield or some other Nick Rewalt and so forth. Some players out there that champions of the game. Darcy Moore. Fucking Darcy Moore is another one of those pretenders too. Though he'll shut up when he's retired. Dusty Martin, he'll have his own story to tell, and I'll be looking forward for when he talks about the football and what he's achieved.
Another thing that, like, we discussed this with the boys, right? It's funny because you know why they want him to do this press conference, Quinny?
Go.
Richmond need the feel-good story this week, right? It's true, mate. And Carlton do it perfectly. I said this, and I've got no evidence of this. It's weird when I'll talk about Carlton. It's weird when you play bad, right? All of a sudden, there's a re-signing that week. All of a sudden, we got a new sponsor that week. Are they holding out on these re-signings and bringing them out when they need to bring them out, Because it's not a stupid idea, right? Because it's the feel good, because the team needs a lift this week, Like Richmond need a lift this week. What are we going to do? We just don't
use Dustin Martin for that, mate. Don't use that player that's been a genuine.
But that's but it's 300 grand.
Clubs will choose something else. An Indigenous round, this Saturday night.
Oh, they will.
Dusty's. Sorry to cut you off. Dusty's 300th is still a couple of weeks away. By the way, I should have preferenced that before.
Yeah. Fuck, I was going to think Richmond this week, mate. Sorry, I was going to think.
Dusty's is still a few weeks away. But speaking of that, firstly, I will say the one thing that does bother me, or not bothers me, but the one thing that is upsetting is Dusty will be one of those players. As soon as he hangs up the boots, you will never see or hear from him ever again. He'll just disappear. You'll never see it. And see, Rocco, I reckon if he does bring out an autobiography, it'll be his manager and it'll be some author that's just writing stories that they've heard. Dusty won't do it. He doesn't give a shit. He just wants to be left alone, right? So
he's not that type of person. He's not that type of person and player, mate.
You know what?
That's good.
He's not.
I agree with Rocco. I don't usually agree with Rocco because a lot of times he just speaks very gibberish. But I agree with Rocco that it's the fact that if Richmond was peaking, if Richmond was at a position where it was really, really, and it had, we go back, say, 3-4 years ago, it'd be a different story. But now, even Dusty's thinking to himself, man, what do you want me to come and tell you? 300 games, I've won 4 premierships or 3 premierships. Richmond's going shit at the moment. We've got a coach who's got no idea. We'll say that we're trying to rebuild because that's what we normally do. We'll be outside the 8 for the next 20 years. All of a sudden, we'll come back again and maybe win another 3-4 premierships if we're lucky. It ain't going to happen. I couldn't see Richmond winning another premiership for at least 20 years.
Can I
At
say
least.
something?
Oh, geez.
Have you noticed that we're talking about press con? Where did that come from, Manny? Like, we're talking about what's that got to do with it? We're talking about Dusty and his 300. Like, I don't understand.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Rocco. It's a reflection of the team. If the team was doing well, if he wanted, of course he'd want to do the press conference. But because it's now
we're saying no, it's not. It's the way Dusty is. When do you hear Dusty in a press conference?
It's irrelevant. Well, you hear him.
No, it's very, very relevant. When do you hear Dusty talk?
I don't listen to any other player except for Darcy Moore, who's a superstar.
Oh my God,
that explains a lot.
When do you hear Dusty talk in a press conference or an interview?
Never.
So this
never
is the
does
whole
them.
thing. So it's not what you're saying is rubbish. It's not if they're winning all the games he wants to come out. Dusty does not talk. He's that type of player. He's like someone said, he's like a locket. He just doesn't talk, mate. So and now they're forcing him. I'm telling you, he will do a press conference. I believe
he'll do something, but this is the one I wanted to follow up with as well, because this is another question that Richmond fans have been raising also. Obviously, as you can imagine, when teams start to go shit, the crowd numbers do start to drop.
Yeah.
Richmond's got Dusty expecting to play his 300th in Adelaide in like 3 weeks' time. We're playing on a Friday night against Adelaide in Adelaide, right?
Yeah.
The week after, it's a Sunday against Hawthorn at the G. So it's a more winnable game. It's at the MCG.
Yeah.
Should Richmond...
Hawthorn's doing all right.
Yeah, Hawthorn are doing all right, but they're towards the bottom, you know what I mean? So it gives you that little bit of a... Should Richmond, or do you think Richmond would rest Dusty for a game to get him at the home ground at the G, drive the crowd numbers up, because we're not really getting the crowd numbers at the moment, and use it to be another occasion, I guess? Do you think that would be... Like, would that be something that, especially in the Richmond's position, right, where, like, he's really not going to make the winning or losing difference at this point?
All right, I'm going to pick it. I reckon they will. You watch. They will, 100%. It's a big thing, the Dusty 300th, like that's a mass. That could be one of your biggest, like players in the last fucking 20 years, and he's playing his 300th game for Richmond. You want to do it at the G in front of a crowd, winnable game, So when is it in 2 weeks' time?
I think it's in 3 weeks. Yeah, I've got it here in front of me. In 3 weeks, we'll be playing Adelaide on Thursday night.
They're going to rest him the week before, and he'll play the next week. You watch.
Yeah. So the thing with that as well, because it's what's annoying, right? And this is as a Richmond fan, but it would apply to any club. If he's playing his 300th in Adelaide, I'm going to Adelaide, right? That Thursday, I'm going there for that. But I've got no idea if they're going to arrest him or not. I presume they will, but I got no idea, so I can't book anything.
I will tell you, mate. That would have.
I don't think.
They have to. There're going to be so many supporters going out there, mate. You can't just he's not playing all of a sudden. Nah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, they'll rest him because you want to play him at the G, Mark.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kevin
where is it? Where is playing Adelaide? Adelaide the week before.
Their last game at the West Coast, mate. So it is what it is. So it'll be there.
Mark, think about this, right? The week before, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're playing in Adelaide.
Yeah.
The week after, they're playing at the G.
Yeah, but
Richmond aren't going, huh? If he plays every game, it'll be for the Adelaide one, correct?
Well, then he plays at Adelaide, mate. He plays in Adelaide.
They won't. You are.
Don't jinx the game. It's not about him. It's about the club, mate. All right.
If he plays in
LA
now,
and they lose. You know.
No. For Richmond, I think it's bigger than that this year because you got to think of the situation, the kind of the circumstances they're in too, Mark. Like, it doesn't matter. He's an old player. They would rest him anyway during the year. You know what I mean? Like,
there's all about resting him. Play football every week. Don't worry about it. If it's 300 games against Adelaide, you go and play in Adelaide. If they win, they win.
I understand, but Mark, the club is bigger than that sometimes.
Not the
player. The club is bigger than that sometimes because it's a big. I'll give you an example. Of course, man, it means a lot to Richmond for Dusty Martin to play 300 and to play it in the right spot. You know what I mean? Would they want to play? You think about it. If you were in charge, we're not talking you're contending for a premiership now. If you're in charge of Richmond right now, do you want them in front of 50, 60,000 Richmond supporters or fucking 20,000 Adelaide supporters? Come on, man. Like, be serious. I'll give you a perfect example. When Murphy played his 300s for Carlton, I'm telling you, they gifted his last 5 games. They were gifted to him. He did not deserve to play his last. He just wasn't. He was old. He wasn't in form anymore. They gifted him. You know why? Because 300 to Murphy for Carlton is big. Guess what? We're selling a whole bunch of 300 tops now. You know, like, it's true, Mark. You might think that, this and that, but it's not how it works. Anyway, you know what? The proof of the pudding will be in 3 weeks' time, in 2 weeks' time when they play Adelaide. I believe he'll do his 300 in MCG.
Yeah, just to send him off and send Richmond off as well. But yeah, I'd be playing against Adelaide.
Well, the other question is Dusty potentially going to be one of those players that may have another maybe 1 or 2 years under him where he may be an easy transfer to, say, someone like North Melbourne that needs, you know, because a lot of these players, you know.
No, he'll be done. He'll be done.
To me, Dusty's the type, right, that he's done. Like, when he doesn't enjoy footy anymore, he's done. You know what I mean? He plays footy, but it's not his life, you know, like, he'll move on real quick. I don't think he'd want to go to a North Melbourne for 2 years because he doesn't need the money. Let's be honest, right? He's not going to go to North Melbourne and lose the next 2 years every game and finish his career. I don't think that's Dusty. I don't think that's him. He's too much of a champion. I believe if he does, I'll be absolutely shocked. You know what I mean?
He'd be pretty good at something like Gold Coast. With Damien Harwick there, even for 12 months. Yeah,
maybe. And some players like doing that, like a Luke Hodge did it. You know, he went over to Brisbane.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
He's not the type of player. He's not the type of player that's going to go up there, be a good leader and role model for all these guys. He just wants to stick to himself. For a guy that's as shy as he is, I can't imagine him wanting to go to another club, re-meet all new people, all new playing staff, coaching staff, admin, people all around it. Like, he's going to reshift his whole life. He just wants to finish.
He will be the pin-up boy, which he doesn't want to be. You know, like, if he goes to another club, they're going to sell it. They play Hawthorn, correct, the week after?
Yeah, Hawthorn, and it's Saturday, like 4:35, twilight. Like, it's a prime.
Fireworks.
Like you was like, you know, like, exactly. And like, I know you were saying before, Mark, it's, you know, this and that. Like, we're probably not going to win the Adelaide game anyway, right? So it's not like resting Dusty that game's going to be a make or break for us, especially over there in Adelaide. But it's also, like you said, it's about revenue. It's about money. It is. Rocco, of course, they're going to sell T-shirts, Dusty 300. I'm going to buy one. I'll be wearing it here on this show, no doubt, right? And also, like, the crowd numbers as well. You're going to get a big crowd at the G. The club's going to make a lot of money on it. It's going to be a spectacle the way they want it to be. And like they did last year when Cochin and Rewalt Cochin had his 300th at the G and Cochin and Rewalt retired and they had their retirement game and they had it at the G and it was a big spectacle and they'll do the same. Look, I'd prefer them to do it at the G so I don't have to travel.
Yeah.
I'll see it regardless. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I reckon they'll risk it for a long game.
I'm with you, but I'm not with you, mate. Then it's all about the player, not the club. So, but that's okay. Let the richer supporters enjoy it and spend $300 on a t-shirt. But I'd be concentrating on where the future is at Richmond at the moment. But enjoy it while you can, and obviously we just got to start seeing the.
What would you do? Not acknowledge. What would you do though? Not acknowledge his 300th because you're worried about the future?
Before, Quinn, mate. I said Essendon, Kevin Shetty and James Hird. Their last games was at in West Coast. So they moved on. They carried it.
But that's different. That's their last game. It's not.
That's right. The last game. That could have
because they weren't playing anymore. It's like they had no choice to be at West Coast. And in that last week of the year, you're talking about people retiring at the end of the year and choosing who you want to play. No, what we're saying is they've got a choice. They've got a choice when to play this 300th for him, because I think it will be the end of the season for him. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. And I know you live in this fantasy world, Mark, because you go, it's about the club. It's about like the football team. It's about this. It's about that. At the end of the day, mate, it is about the club. It is about making money. It is about players playing their milestone games. It is like you could say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, the football is a business. You must win, right? Of course. But at the end of the day, you don't think they haven't just got a coach and 22 players there. They've got a fucking team of people in the media. Like they got them working out when to put stuff out. They got their social media stuff. They got their TV stuff. They got people organizing players. You go here. You go and see the sick kids over there. You go and do the thing over there. You go to that school over there. It is what it is now, mate, because it's a big business. It is, mate. It is.
Mark, I actually agree with you, Mark, and someone said it in the comments as well. Petra Khan said it in the comments. I agree with you if the club was still contending for finals. In that 100%. Case, 100%. I would be dirty if they rested Dusty in a winnable game, finals on the line, like we're pushing for that top 8 spot. We're second last in the ladder with 1 win on the board. For me, in this situation, it's an opportunity for the club to drive in revenue, the fans to get a bit of an opportunity to celebrate. Well, it's an opportunity for the fans too to celebrate a guy that has won Norm Smith medals and Essendon has finals in the last 20 years. So it's an opportunity for the club to celebrate that as well. And again, if we're contending for finals, different story.
Yeah, it is. It is, Quinn. I can understand that. How many wins do you need to have to make the finals this year? What is it? 14? 13?
At least we'd need to win. We'd need to win every game from here for the rest of the year to even be half a chance.
12 to 13.
Hey, there's always hope, Quinn. You just don't know.
Nah, you're dreaming.
Anyway, guys. On a lighter note, apart from football, we can talk a bit about football, but just a couple.
Really, it is a football show.
You'd hope so.
Just a little bit of a lighter note and a bit of a banter. So not a banter, but obviously, Rocco, we're still waiting for your.
Yes, I'll do it. I've been sick. I haven't even gone to work this week. I only went on Monday.
I know, mate. But the viewers out there want to see that bet. A bet is a bet.
Oh, there's Manny.
Oh, there's Manny. He's come out.
So, Rocco,
I just got to get out there, but I'm not going to go in there. I'm telling you.
If it's not done by next week, there is no more bets on the show. Okay? A bet
do whatever you want. You decide what you want. Well, I'll do the bet. I don't need. If you want, what you can do now, right? If you want, what you can do is from now on, you can host and organize the show. How's that sound?
No.
Then shut up.
The computer says no. I don't know a lot of it.
No, listen, you're absolutely right.
Just to break a little bit of the football, yeah. We'll just break it up.
I just want to go into one more.
Try and get the viewers a little bit involved here,
Well, I did
come up with a a name for the Magpie Manny and Rocco show. Remember we had a bit of a conversation last week about that? Look, I did come up with a name. It's up to you guys if you decide that you're happy with it. But there was a show. It was a comedy movie in the late 90s. They had a couple of superstars in the show, Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Twins.
The show was called, I'm not quite sure if you guys know it, but do you know what the show was, Rocco?
It was a movie.
When do you think we were born, Mark?
It was a movie called Twins.
Yeah, that's it. Magpie Manny. So Twins is about a show about some long lost brothers. So
tell me, who would be Arnie and who would be Danny DeVito?
Well, you guys can decide that, right?
Come on, you can do it.
You guys
Come on, you can do it.
Who looks more like Danny DeVito?
I do.
So I didn't want to be too harsh on the name of the show. So I think the Twins would be a great show. As for the viewers last week trying to name my show, I did have a show for it. It's very simple. It's called it was a Tina Turner song. It's called Simply the Best.
Keep going. Keep singing.
That's it. Simply the best.
And all the rest.
Who's simply the best? I thought the other
show. The show's called Simply the Best.
If anyone's got a name for Mark's show, because we had heaps last week, the best one I thought was Dumb and Dumber for you because you could play both parts. Anyway, listen, I have one more thing. I'm trying to keep this on track, right? I have one more thing before we go into our teams that I thought was interesting, right? We did have a few things, but I'm going to chuck on this one. I reckon I just want to – it's not going to happen. I just thought it was an interesting thing. State of – could there be – should they first of all bring the state of origin, right, back, right? And second of all, here would be the teams that would play in the state of origin, Victoria, South Australia and Western Australia. Look at those teams and who would win it.
Oh, easily Victoria. Easily Victoria. You got the superstar Nick Dacos and Darcy Moore for the Magpies. And is Charlie Curnow there? And you got Charlie Curnow. Well, there you go.
Well, you got Charlie Curnow. You got three Carlton players.
I was about to say,
playing there.
I don't know why you would have Wittering.
I mean, the South Australian side looked pretty good there.
Wittering. I don't know why you'd have
Wittering there.
Wittering there. I don't know why you'd have Wittering there. That's a. I don't know who picked this team.
He's the best backman going around. What are you talking about? The most contested mark, 1-on-1, he doesn't get beaten. What are you talking about? No, we'll put. You know what we'll do? We'll put Darcy Moore so he can do a fucking stupid speech again. Jam it up your ass. All right, then we've got South Australia here, right? There's a couple of players there, but I don't know. Western Australia could be a bloody. They look like a good side. Now, with the audience out there,
who chose these teams?
SEN. They got a panel and the SEN people, and then they just put together. Are
these accredited people or are these just bananas?
What do you mean, man? They just put together three teams. They're not really playing, Manny. It's just a discussion point. I mean, those 60 odd players are probably the best players in the competition. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's no fucking. You always got to make something of it.
There's at least 10 players.
Point was, first of all, should Craig McCraig be the coach?
Yes.
Oh, that's fine. Now that's all good. Now they're a good panel. You're a dickhead. No. First of all, the question was
should be another 10 players on there.
Shut up. You got no idea. You didn't even know they used to talk because you don't listen to anything football. First of all, should they bring it back, right?
Yes.
Marco, would you say yes?
No. No, it's no, it can't be done anymore, mate. The spirit's not there for the young players these days. They get good money to play their own football for their own clubs. And just second of all, the reason why I say that, whatever
I
you
agree with
posted
you,
there,
Mark.
whatever you posted on there, Rock, it really gave me the shits because out of all those three, correct, right?
Well, what's
No,
his name?
you had Ferret
was on there. Was it? Ferret was there.
Who?
Ferret.
Yeah, what on the bench? On the bench. Come on, guys. We're sitting second on a ladder, mate. Where is it? I can't even see it.
There is Zach Ferret.
Where?
So who would you put in? See, the question is, like, whenever you have these debates, and don't get me wrong, Mark, there's no right or wrong, all right? And again, now, you're being biased because it's Essendon, and that's understandable, all right? But who would you put in?
Look, right. I mean, it's you know, we're sitting second on the ladder, so it's about
that's
form.
not the point. See, this is the.
It's about form, mate. It's about form. It's about form.
Right,
if you sit
but this is
on
right.
the ladder,
No
you must
use
have some
coming
players.
up. But there's no use coming up with something and you haven't got a solution, right? So I'm asking you, I'm giving you the chance. Who would you put in?
Is that we're sitting second on the ladder.
So who would you listen to me? Who would you put in?
Well, that's a pretty harsh question to give.
Why? You already said we should have more players. Who would you put in? Name a player. Name a player. You got Nick Martin who plays for. You got to remember they got to fit into their states, right? So you got two players.
Carl Langford.
You got Redmond who plays for South Australia. So it's not just the Victorian team. Right?
What I'm just trying to tell you.
So you're saying that more Essendon players, you got 3 players there. So you got 3. So how many do you think in a fucking 18-team competition, how many Essendon players should there be?
There should be another 5.
All right, then who are they? Go, name them.
No, I'm not going to name them right now. I've got to do my research.
No, you have to name them because you said there's 5. So who are the 5 players? Who are they?
Carl Langford. Mackay.
Right, well, who does we'll start with one at a time. We'll start with one at a time. Langford.
Yeah, Mackay.
Right, is he Victorian? First of all, oh my God, let me talk, Mark. First of all,
what do you mean, mate? He's kept hope.
Yeah. Shut up for a second. Shut up for a second, Mark. Is he Victorian?
Yeah, he is.
Is he Victorian?
Yeah.
Yes, he is Victorian.
All right. What position does Langford play?
Well, it doesn't matter about the position. It's just like a normal
yes, it does. What position does he play? Just to answer the question.
Bullshit, Rock. They could put him on the forward pocket. They could put him on the flank. They could put him on the bench.
You want to play him in a forward. All right, wait a sec, Mark. I'm trying to get to a point here. Right? You say what position does he play? Forward pocket?
Well, at the moment he's playing centre-half forward.
All right, so a centre-half forward. I'm glad we're starting to get to it, right? Centre-half forward he plays, correct, right? Right.
What is his position?
You're going to replace him. You that means you want to either replace him, say, with Jeremy Cameron or Curnow.
I'll probably put him in front of Curnow at the moment.
I know you would because you're an Essendon fanatic, but what I'm saying is the point is what I'm trying to get to, Mark. It's easy to say.
He would be in the forward line. There's no positions. There's no positions.
Yes,
He's in the forward line.
No, there is positions. So why don't you just chuck him in the fucking back if there's no position?
Hang on.
I just said in the forward line. I said the forward line. I said the centre. I didn't say midfielders. I didn't say back.
You've got to put him in the right position that he plays.
It's
like saying, because the wingers had a great season, a winger, any winger, I don't know. But we can't fit him in. Let's just chuck him in the back pocket. You can't, Mark.
I would have put him at least
regardless of who you pick.
Mackay, centre half back or full back. Sam Durham, I would put him probably a bench.
Listen, regardless of who you
take out, who would you take out?
Right,
I'll take all of them out. I'll take all of them out.
Now you're talking like Manny. You got no idea what you're talking about. At the end of the day,
these are the players that are putting us into the top of the top 4.
But it doesn't matter because I'll give you an example. You might have a good player, but it doesn't make him the best in the competition. It might be good for your team.
At the moment,
he's not the best forward.
Manfred's not the best forward.
No.
Manfred's not the best forward.
No.
He's top 4 in the fucking Coleman medal, mate. What are you talking about?
Right, it doesn't make him the best. You just put him in front of Curnow because you're biased. And I'm biased about Curnow because you watch him every week.
I would prefer another player to be centre-half forward and full forward.
Have you noticed how it turns to you? Like, I was just trying to get to one point. Should we have a state of origin and which team would win? But Mark has turned it about himself again.
No, I haven't turned it about
myself. It's not about your star players that have achieved nothing, right?
All of it turned about is that we are sitting second on the ladder, and to be second on the ladder, we've obviously got some players that.
But does that mean because Sydney are sitting on top of the ladder?
It's just about names to you. It's
names. Yes.
Curnow, Dangerfield, Oliver, Dusty Martin. It's not about that.
No, it doesn't. Dusty Martin hasn't made. They get the best.
A lot more.
Are you serious, Mark? When you pick an All-Australian, right, you pick the best player in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it was an All-Australian in Victoria in 1993. You know who was played in the centre? David Calthorpe from Essendon. Because that year, he played to his potential. And he was obviously rewarded to playing in that position. But other teams and commentators were saying, how the hell is David Calthorpe playing in the centre in a Victorian side 1993? So it's all about names. So I'm happy with at least three or four more players that at this stage.
I think Matty Boy's got it. Anyways, let's move on. Seriously, I was just trying to get, should we have it? And you've turned it into.
You asked me the question. You asked me the question. I answered it.
You went straight into. You went straight.
I'm answering it.
You did. I never asked you that question. What I asked you was, should there be a state of origin game? That's all I asked you. I didn't ask you we should have 20. In your theory, we should have 22 Sydney players because they're on top of the ladder.
Look, I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun. It would be. I think it would be fun. I think it would be nice to sort of break things up a bit.
Lost it, mate. You fucking lost it.
But when you're talking about state of origin, I think we're trying to compare it to
how many Richmond players are on there?
Rugby. I think we're trying to compare it to the rugby, and I think you guys have to realise that New South Wales and Queensland have got a real hate for each other, right? They passionately dislike each other. So therefore, when you're comparing state of origin, don't compare it to the rugby, yeah? If we're going to do it, you say you're going to do it just for the fun. You're going to say, you know what, let's do it as an exhibition type of thing. That's the only time it would be sort of something that people would go out to watch. But other than that, I don't agree with thinking that it's going to be successful because it's long gone.
I don't think it'll happen. I think it was just a bit of a talking point and an experiment. Like really, at the end of the day, I don't think it works. As soon as the game become national, it lost that state of origin kind of feel. And the other thing is, it used to mean something. Now you get like, when are you going to play it? You're going to play it in the middle of the year. Teams aren't going to risk their players. You're going to play it at the start of the year when they're trying to get ready for a season. Are you going to play it at the end of the year when people are in hospital? You're never going to get that best side out there. Never. And when we used to watch it, Quinny, you never used to watch this, but when we used to watch it in the 80s and the 90s, man, it was played on a Tuesday night, maybe, I don't know, in like round 10 in the middle kind of the year. We used to play in the 90s, and the best players wanted to play. Like it was a big thing to put on that V, you know. And those games were some of the best games we ever saw. You know what I mean? They were the best, man. We used to love it. You know. Now I'm telling you right now, as a Carlton supporter, if we play it, I don't want my players to play in it. I don't want them there because I don't want an injury for what? A game that's not too like you don't even want your players to play in like preseason games. You worry about them and you go, oh, they might get injured, you know, like let alone this rubbish. What do you reckon, Quinny?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm the same. Look, I think it'd be fun. Like it'd be a fun spectacle. I remember going to when was it, a few years ago, they had that bushfire game and it was the Big V versus the All-Stars. And obviously that wasn't the same. It wasn't competitive. It was just, let's just be as fancy as we can and kick as many goals. It'd be fun, but I agree. It's not going to work. Players won't want to play it. There's no, like Manny said, there's no genuine rivalry or hate between the states where you're really going to want to go out there and crash and bash. It's probably not worth it. I wouldn't mind a showcase game like Vicks versus the All-Stars where it's just a muck around type thing every few years or something maybe, but not a proper state of origin. I don't think that would work.
Old players, mate. Retired players, they should just do the retired players.
Or the Legends game.
Yeah, the Legends game. The Legends game. That's what I was thinking of. The Legends
keep doing that, man. They should keep doing that. It's fantastic for football.
I didn't take Manny off there. The Manny just disappeared because he's a banana. So as soon as he comes back, we'll put it on. All right, since we're here, I think we've exhausted that. That was a good debate about nothing, really, for the last hour and a half. We talked about absolute rubbish.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Really?
It is all about that. It is all about that. Now, I wanted to wait but should we get into the games? I mean, Manny's not here. Do you want to get into the games? Because the first game is Sydney Carlton, and I'm sure Manny wants to get stuck into me. But
he's got it.
Oh, here he is. He's back. Hold on. He's back. There he is. What happened, you banana?
Power surge.
Oh, power surge.
There was a power surge.
Nah, it wasn't a power surge. Too much brain cells were lost that the internet just went off. And so we're going to go into the games, Manny.
Yes.
Let's do it. I said I particularly waited because I'm sure you want to talk about this game here, first game. And first of all, 17-15, 117 to 9-11-65. Heaney there giving us the shush. Just be careful. We bet you in a final only 10 weeks ago or 11 games ago. So let's not make sure that doesn't come and bite you on the ass. But in talking, do you want me to talk about the game or do you just want to just... I know you've been waiting since Friday for this. Let's go.
Talk about your game, Rocco. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I know that you're disappointed, and I'd be disappointed too. But talk about the game.
Of course, I'm disappointed, Manny. Like I love footy where you just do it because you want to get fucking people to like you.
Hey,
but I actually like footy and I actually go to the game. And I am. I'm just saying, of course, you said it hurts you because you're trying to make me. But what do you reckon? It doesn't hurt me. What's that? Did you make chips? Did you make chips?
So I just grabbed some spuds. And I sliced them up and I made some chips and I'm just about to fry them in a deep fryer.
Ah, very good. You are the props man, aren't you? Do you use those weights? Do you use those weights behind you?
Is it?
That's the marshmallow.
Just quietly, by the way, I want to grab these marshmallows to join in on the prop game. I just had a look on the back. These are best before November last year. So if I run off quickly somewhere, you might know. I've eaten half the pack.
So sorry, you Carlton viewers out there, but I had some spuds in the cupboard there.
We've got
I sliced them up to make them look like some fries.
I want you to give it to me. I'm going
to fry them in a deep fryer.
I want you to do as much as you can because things come back hard, man. They come back hard. So I want you to go the best you can. But anyway, what's to say? We had a pretty ordinary game. That was out of the blue, that one there. We haven't played a bad game like that since since halfway through last year, really. So there's not much to say, man. We started good, and then we just got out-pressured. They're a good side, Sydney. They run hard, good transition. They got forwards. They got some young, like you were saying about Parker, Quinn. Man, they can't get Parker into the side. You know what I mean? And they got people like Warner and what is it? Is it Rowbottom?
Rowbottom, yeah.
Fucking gunplay. And then Warner, all of a sudden, where did he come from? Kicking 5 goals from the middle, you know what I mean? And then Grundy, he's having the season of his life at the moment, right? He's killing it since he's left the fucking Spudville over there. The bunch of blokes who think fucking they're good because Darcy Moore makes a speech. But
he was struggling at Melbourne.
Left there. Shut up, Mike. Talk. Or do you want me to take you off again? Do you want me to take you off again or what?
I really couldn't.
Shut up. Shut up. Anyway, there's nothing more to say. It was you'll probably go through this in about 5 minutes, Quinny. There's not much you can say about that performance. You just hope that this week they come back and they put in a better form. Now, I was talking to Mark before the show about this. I don't want to blame injuries, but it is a reason, man. I mean, this week I think we've lost. We could be losing Wiedering again this week. So, like you, Quinny, man, we just can't get a break. We can't get consistency into the side. So. I know people talk and they go, yeah, but you just put in another player. Yeah, you can say that when you get a few injuries, but when you keep getting new injuries every week, those lines just can't get that consistency of playing together, knowing each other. Like you've got to play for 12, 14 games together. You know where you're going to run to. And it just seems you could just see these players are coming in. They just haven't got that fucking, that connectivity, where you're running forward, where you are. You were saying this about your side, Mark, where they're confident in each other. You're bringing in first-year player, they don't know what to do. They're worried about their own games, So, but in saying that, Sard, I think it's Sard and Fogarty. No, I think Fogarty's a week away, but I think Sard is a test this week. He's going to bring some run back. But and the other one, and we've lost Pitternet too this week again. Geez. So you can't get this continuity into the side. So
the thing I was having this discussion today, Rock, about the comparison between the injuries from both Richmond and Carlton, and I think we've both copped the raw end of the deal in terms of injuries. But the difference,
we're 1 and 2 on the injury list ladder.
Yeah, exactly.
Games that both sides have lost is ridiculous. And to tell you the truth, I'll let you talk in a sec. To tell you the truth, you can say whatever you want, but with our injuries, and I don't think many clubs could hold with the amount of injuries we've had on a consistent basis. One thing you got to remember is we're 6-4, and we're one game and percentage from third. So it's not like season's over. It's very close, man. Collingwood and Essendon lose this week. Essendon 6 points up, but Collingwood lose and a couple lose. We're all of a sudden 5th again. You know what I mean? So it's very close. So for the amount of injuries, and we haven't really been playing that well, to be 6-4, mate, I would, if you said to me, you're going to have 16 injured on your list, right? And you're going to be 6-4 and be one game out of the top 3, I would have said at the start of the year, I'll take that. So next 3 weeks are going to be big. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. Well, just continuing from that, I was saying the biggest difference that I reckon with those injury lists is I think Richmond, even with a full team, was never contending, right? So the injuries don't help. We wouldn't be second last on a ladder getting pumped by 100 points, but we wouldn't be contending either way. Whereas with Carlton, you guys are in that window at the moment. So these injuries could prove to be costly. And that's probably they're probably more detrimental. I was looking at this today. AFL Central put it up right on Instagram. You can't see it. But all these players in this photo here, that's a full 18-person team full of just injured players that we've got right now. So, we're absolutely feeling it. But like I was saying, the difference is we weren't contending regardless not for a flag. So I think it's very different situations.
And as I said, man, like time will tell in the next 3 or 4 weeks, up to the bye. I give myself up to the bye. We'll see what happens in the next 3 weeks. We've got 3 tough games the next 3 weeks. We'll see what happens. But these injuries, like, man, it's been tough on us, man. And these players coming out. And it's not like we're losing a couple like you've experienced it. We're losing a couple every week. Like, and they're good players. Like, if you put those players back into the side, man, you're trying to tell me people like, you got to remember, Saad, McGovern's missed out, Wiedering, Chera comes back for a week, Motlop hasn't played, Fogarty, he most forward tackles any player before he got injured. So you put in these players into the side, I mean, it's going to make a difference. But again, it really doesn't make a difference at the end of the day. We just got to win this week. But as I said, someone just wrote it here. Saad and Fogg, they're going to do a test. I think Motlop's back too. He makes a big difference because we got the worst small forwards in the league. We'll see this week. But yeah, that wasn't a good game to watch personally by me, man. I really was not happy because I actually think this week, and I said on the show, if even we put Jesus Christ himself in that side over the weekend, we wouldn't have won that game because the pressure, the tackling was not up to standards. And if you don't do those fundamental right, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get anywhere. So we can blame injuries, but you can't make an excuse for that performance. And I don't expect to. So I expect a response this week. Any say, Mark? You want to bring out your fucking props again?
Well, I can if you want. I've really got not much to say about the game, but if you want, I can have my own opinion on it. I still believe that Carlton are still the 1 quarter wonders. Obviously, they were up by 4 or 5 goals against Sydney last week, and they got smashed. So there's a problem there. So they're not playing 4 quarters of football. They've got no depth in the side at the moment. So regardless of injuries, we all make excuses.
I'm going to question you on that.
We all make excuses for injuries. Quinn,
no, listen. Wait. Before I mute you, because there's no use when people are talking. There's no use you talking for another 5 minutes when I'm trying to address something you just said.
I've only got 1 minute.
Yeah, but I want to address something you said.
Well, don't address it. Let me speak, and then you can.
No, I'm going to address it because then you'll go and make another 5 points, and I can't get back to that point. I'm going to address.
I made 2 points. Even
you want to see something? I'll show you something. I'll show you something. See that? See that,
Carlton are 1 quarter wonders, mate. Carlton are 1 quarter wonders.
All right. Does he know that he's muted?
No.
Yeah.
Is everyone enjoying this? Let's watch Mark talk to himself.
Hey, you're being nasty.
I am, because I wanted to address 1 point before he continued on.
Anyway, put him back on now because he's going to finish.
I'm going to wait till to see when he stops.
Hang on, I'm going to have another marshmallow.
Anyway.
Okay, it's going to be a mess when I'm finished these. We'll just quickly rock on the game while waiting for Mark. The way I judged the game was you're going to have to be a really, really strong side to beat Sydney this season.
It's finished.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's only been one team that's beaten Sydney this season.
Yeah. So can I?
You must
Mark,
have very
good. Mark, can you hear us now?
Apart that, I'll cut some.
All right, so keep going. Keep going.
So as I was saying, there's only been one team.
It's the toughest road trip at the moment to go down to Sydney and beat them. So it will be tough, right? This is hilarious. I think people are enjoying that. So he can keep going as much as he wants, because all I wanted to do was address one thing, and he could have gone on with his little.
All right, it's finished. It's finished now. Come on, bring him back on. Bring him back on.
Shut up. Mark, can I just say something? Can I say something now?
You're the boss, mate, not me.
Right. So, you know, the last 2-minute rant you did, you were on mute. No one heard you. You look like Charlie Chaplin talking. There was no sound coming out. And I told you that I muted you. I muted you. No,
to who?
You look like a clown, because everyone's look at the comments.
You muted me to who? Who couldn't listen to me? Who could not
No
listen
one.
to me?
No one could hear you.
I could
No one could hear you. I muted you. I muted you.
I don't care about who listens to me. As long as you listen to me, Rocco.
No, we couldn't hear you, Mark. No one. Listen, shut up, Manny. I'm trying to talk to him. Mark, no one in Australia could hear you.
I don't care about Australia, mate. I don't care about Australia.
We couldn't hear you either. Are you listening?
I'm talking to you, Rocco.
But we couldn't. But we couldn't hear you. Are you listening? I muted you.
I could hear you. I could hear you, Rocco.
No,
I could hear you, Mark. Anyway,
no, you couldn't.
I could. Now,
what did he say? Thing,
what did he say? If I muted him, no one can hear him, man. He stopped talking.
As long as the Fourever Rivals, as long as the Fourever Rivals can hear me, I don't care about who else doesn't hear me.
Mark,
no one heard you. No one heard.
Fuck, you're dumb sometimes. I don't know if you play a game.
Manny said that he heard me. Manny said that he heard me.
I could hear you.
No, he
Manny's
couldn't.
full of shit.
All right, tell me something, Manny. Tell me something, Manny.
I'll have to text it to you, Manny. I'll have to text it to you.
I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me what I'm saying, okay?
Manny.
Manny.
Yeah, I can hear him. Can you hear him? I can hear you.
What's he saying?
Well, it's just saying what I say. What did I say? What did I say? I can hear you, Rocco. I can hear you. I can hear what you're saying. What did I say?
That's the only. You're just lip reading that. You can't hear it.
Okay. So what was the point of that, Rock? What was the point of that then, mate? What was the point of all that?
The point of it is I just said to you, let me address this point and I'll let you talk. And you went on a 2-minute rant and no one heard you. It was a waste of time.
Why?
Because no one heard you.
Well, then bad luck then. Well, if I haven't got an opinion, then what do you want me to say? Oh, Carlton, they played well. They got a lot of injuries.
No, what I'm saying is,
what do you want me to do? Do you want me to be like a soft, like a Manny, and become the Twins now? All of a sudden, we're gonna start to become the.
All I'm saying is, you wasted your time with all that speech that you wrote. You wasted your time because no one heard you. I was going to let you talk. I just wanted to address one thing. I wanted to address one thing, Mark. That's all, and then you could have talked.
I did talk. You cut me out.
No, but because you didn't let me address what you said. Far out, bro, mate. It is painful. This is painful listening to how you do this, mate. All I wanted to say is listen to me. You said we have got no depth.
Yes.
Right. Yet we win 6 out of the 10 games, right, with our injuries and are fucking sitting 4 points from the third. How does that make sense, Mark?
Where were you sitting the first?
If you had no depth, we wouldn't be able to win 6 games and lose another couple by only a fucking goal. That is nonsensical. Do you understand that word? That is nonsensical. You're making up stuff.
Who you got this week?
Fuck up.
Who you got this week?
Shut up, man. At least come up with something. Oh, you got no depth, but we're fucking 4 points from third. With our injury.
But to be
I
fair,
guarantee something now. I guarantee something now. With the same amount of injuries, with the same amount of injuries, with the same amount of injuries, you would not even get off the bottom of the ladder. You understand? You understand?
You're in denial, mate. You know.
No, I'm not in denial.
You're in denial, mate. You know.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? What did I say that was in denial?
Because you know that Carlton, regardless of where they are now, you should be in the top 4, regardless. And if
we
you're
have
not,
got 16 injuries, Mark.
Well, then you haven't got enough depth. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say to you.
We got 4 points from the fucking third on the ladder, you dickhead.
Okay. But you know
so how can we not have depth?
You know. You're telling me that you're happy with your position on the ladder right now.
When did I say that? See, this is your issue, Mark. You just now you're asking. No,
I'm asking you the question. Are you happy with Carlton being in that position on the ladder?
Now you're asking. But before that, you make statements.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Talking about the game.
No, you didn't. You said Carlton's got no depth.
No, I said, to be honest with you, I said Carlton are one-quarter wonders. That's what I've been.
Right, but I proved to you that we're not. I proved to you that I'm not, because I went through every single game and we didn't just play one quarter.
Probably haven't got enough depth in the side. So
how can we be equal fucking 5th on the ladder and 4 points from third?
You're sitting 10th, you're sitting 2nd. So that's the story.
I understand.
That's the story, morning glory.
That just proves. Sitting 10th means nothing at the moment, because the percentage is, it means 6 sides on 24.
Well, it might mean something when it's round 16 and 17. You're still sitting 10th or 11th. You're going to go, wow, injuries. Okay. So that was my opinion, Rocco. You're intimidating me by saying what I feel was wrong with Carlton.
But you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong in all the stats that you've said.
Well, then you Carlton supporters can accept where you are in 10th. That's fine.
I never said, when I talked about the game, did I say I accept it? I said it was a poor performance, right? Yeah. And that is not acceptable. And I said that. Then you turn around to me and say, you Carlton supporters, you can accept it. You know what? I'll bring out my potatoes instead of bringing out some conversation. How can you say we've got no depth when we're holding our spot and be 4 points from third? How can you say that?
I believe you haven't got the depth.
But what you believe, it doesn't matter what you believe, because people believe that Jesus died on the cross. It doesn't make it true.
Hey, listen. To be fair,
Mark,
you know what?
Shut up. You'll talk about your game when I tell you. You talk about your game. Here you go. Talk about your game now. Collingwood.
All right.
12-8. What is it? 12-6 or 12-6-78 to 11-8-74. I think we talked enough about that with your ridiculousness. There you go. Did you go to the game, Manny, or are you just going to do some review that you watched it on TV?
Let's talk about stats, because you're big on stats, yeah?
Of course I am. That's what the game's about.
All right. Adelaide had more disposals than Collingwood. They had more kicks than Collingwood. They had more kicks than Collingwood. They had more handballs than Collingwood. They had more inside 50s than Collingwood. But Collingwood managed to play the style of football that we play, and that is we know how to shut a game down.
You almost lost, man.
And don't sit there and tell me
you didn't shut down a game. You almost lost.
Don't sit there telling me
shut down a game.
No, hey, let me speak, all right?
That's a bad statistic there, Money, mate. Right. That's a bad statistic, mate.
So the fact that our stats were down, right, and we managed to beat Adelaide, and you know what? And you sitting there telling me that Adelaide got robbed? No.
Wait a sec. Now I'm going to mute you. In a second, right? Now I'm going to mute you in a second. Wait a second. Wait a fucking second. Wait a second. Who the fuck ever said we got robbed? This is the problem with you and Mark. You try to throw who the fuck said you got robbed? Or Adelaide got robbed. Who said it?
You said it to me.
When?
Oh, there we go. This is a classic case of memory loss.
When did I say you got robbed? That Adelaide got robbed. When did I say that?
Are you serious?
Yes. When did I say it?
Well, maybe my mistake. Maybe my mistake. I take it back.
Did I mention anything about fucking Adelaide got robbed?
My mistake. Not on the show, but you did mention.
Did I mention it on our messages that are private?
Yes.
When did I say? No. When did I say it, Manny? You're not going to get away with this. When did I say it? So stop reading your fucking script. Stop reading your script that someone wrote for you and talk serious. When did I say you got robbed? That Adelaide got robbed?
Quinn, do you want to fill that in?
Quinn's got nothing to say, mate. He's going to copy me.
When did I say
I'm reading the messages. I'm going through and having a look at the messages.
And have a look if I've ever mentioned that they were robbed.
Yes, oh, we all got small balls.
Let's go, Manny. Or are we talking shit again?
All right. Well, you know what? I apologize. I do apologize, Rocco. I'm
glad.
I'm not afraid to apologize.
I'm glad.
It was.
But don't accuse me on shit I don't do.
No, it was Mark who actually said, "How far can you run for too long?" Adelaide got robbed. Should we have loan players during it? Anyway,
that's why Mark just walked off.
Yeah, I apologize, Rocco, and this is why I need to get these updated because it. All I did was I read the message and I thought, typical, but then I realized it was Mark. Look,
I didn't do that, mate.
No, you're right. Look, Collingwood was lucky. They were lucky because Adelaide was coming back.
You just said they didn't get robbed, and then you turned around and said Collingwood was lucky.
Collingwood was lucky because when you look at the stats, the team stats, we played good football for part of the game, and then that last quarter, I don't know, we just fell apart. Now, I'm saying that we're lucky because I felt that was the right decision by the umpire because they reckon that for every 15 meters that you run, you've got to bounce the ball. Is that right? I've never played the game. All right. But I know that.
Yeah.
All right.
No, is it 15 or 20 now? Is it 20? I think it's 20.
Oh, maybe.
Well, can someone say in the chat?
Well, apparently they reckon that he ran 24 meters.
I think it's 20, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I don't even count that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It was called. It was called. Like I don't think that really mattered. It's not like they kicked the goal from it anyway. They only kicked it in the ball line.
But having said that, Rocco, things could change so much, right?
Yeah.
With that kick, things could have changed. Yeah, that could have changed. So anyway, I was disappointed at the end. I think that we had an opportunity. I mean, maybe we were spoiled because we played against the West Coast Eagles. Now we're going to play against Adelaide. But credit to Adelaide. They're not an easy. They're not an easy side.
They're not a bad side, and they've actually been close in a lot of games.
Yeah.
So and you could say I'm not going to say they were lucky, but what I will say, Adelaide in about 3 games, decisions have gone against them.
Yeah.
This year, in about 3 games. So can I just at the end of the day, you're happy with that diagnosis of Collingwood? They got over the line. Adelaide had a chance. Did he run too far? Had they called that before? Yep. Sometimes they've not called it. Sometimes they do call it. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the main thing is you were 4 points in. You were in front at the end of the day. But you have to feel. You have to feel right for. Sorry, I'm trying to set this up. you have to feel, where is it? Ah, fucking hell, I had this all set up and now I can't find it. You have to feel for them. Where is it? Ah, sorry, guys. All right, go for it. Sorry.
But all I was going to say is that Nick Dacos, once again, has exceeded all expectations. He's definitely one hot favourite for the Brownlow this year at this stage. You know, and
he won't win the
no, maybe he won't. But you know, you have to admit you've got some players like the Ferret that plays for Essendon, who's showing. You know, he's actually shown that he's going to be one of the contenders for the Brownlow this year. Zach Ferret. But it was good to see Scott Pendlebury, who also had a ripper game. So, you know, even Scotty Pendlebury, you know, he's aging, but he's still very graceful in his the way he plays. So it was well done.
I have to admit this from Ange Christou here. If it was Dacos, they wouldn't have paid that free kick. I guarantee you that much.
No.
Anyway, that's a great diagnosis. I'm sure you didn't watch the game and you probably got someone to write you the stats, because I just had a look at stats and you pretty much just read what it said on the AFL thing. You had no insight into the game, nothing. All I can say about Collingwood is this.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Brother, ooh.
Brother, ooh.
So you know, if you really know that, if you know that video, what's happened is he's actually a Collingwood supporter. He's got the big magpie flag in the back, and someone served him a plate, and it had a small little cupcake, and it had the Carlton Football Club emblem on there, and that's what he was actually commenting about.
Very good comeback, Manny. You must have fucking really fucking thought about that comeback. That was great. That was great, Manny.
Thanks very much.
Very good.
But you know what? It's amazing that we were 0-3, and now all of a sudden we haven't lost a game, and we're back where we belong. Where we belong.
Where do you belong, Manny?
We belong in the top 8.
Yeah, but you don't belong at footy games because you don't go. All right, let's go to the next one. When are you going to go to a game, Manny?
I've already got my tickets for the Bulldogs game.
How can you have tickets? How can you have tickets? What do you mean? You got your memberships?
Yeah, we're going to the games.
You notice how he's got to show that he bought a membership after they won the grand final?
Mate, I've had memberships for years and years and years.
Do you want me to bring up? Do you want me to bring up last year when you admitted that you didn't have a print? Do you want me to bring up next week? Can we hear in the comments? Do you want me to bring up when Manny said that he wasn't a member? You want me to bring up when he lied and said that his cousin's membership was his? Did you want me to bring up all that next week? I'll put it on a little clip and I'll show it.
Rocco, all I can tell you is that you wanted me to sit there and say I haven't got a membership.
Oh, that's what you did, is it?
Yep. And you know what? I got to see the Magpies win the flag, but I also got to see.
No, we will. So I will. Actually, I will do it. I will. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do? Yeah. I'm actually going to show the clip of Manny at the live show. Done. It's done. I'm going to show the clip of Manny. I'm going to do all these bullshits through the year, and I'm going to show them all at that thing. So anyway, as Matula said, plastic supporter, only buys a membership after the thing. And unfortunately, I think it's a little bit of a disgrace when someone who doesn't support their side actually takes a ticket off. You know, they were on the news. Members actually missed out. People that have been members for like 20, 30 years missed out on tickets because selfish people like Manny took their tickets away, where old people who are probably dying to see a premiership.
Manny took no one's ticket away, mate.
He said last year.
Manny was lucky. Manny was lucky.
He's going to decide if he goes to the game. He's going to see about the weather.
Hey, listen, I've missed out. I've missed out on opportunities. You're starting to choke. I've missed out on opportunities.
Anyway, the next game was 20. What is that? I can't read that number, Quinn. Is it 26 or 28? 7?
I think it says 2 goals, 6. I think that's all it says.
163 to anyway, 44 points.
Fury, we're from
I think Arosh in the comments said something quite clever when he said, "Can we skip the Richmond game, please?" Because, like you said before, what do you say after a game like that? You know, we let them. They kicked 10 goals straight. They had over 100 points scored from turnover. What do you say? What do you say in a game like that? You know, we had, again, it's not blaming them because there's more to it than just that, but we had 25 players to pick from on the weekend. That was it. A couple more injuries during the game as well. Just makes things a bit more flattening. So, I don't know. It was just a game. A couple more. And then so this is a story for you, right? Because there's no point talking about the game. There's nothing to break down. We were shit, right? There's nothing to talk about. But the next day, Richmond VFL was playing Sandy at Trevor Barker Oval down in Sandringham. I thought, you know what? It's around the corner from home. Richmond's VFL side's actually been doing pretty good. I'm going to head down and watch a game. I might see Richmond get a good win. You know, I thought, why not? I'll head down and give it a crack. I get down there. One Sam Naismith ACL later and another 100-point loss. Two days in a row. And, mate, I was an absolute rock. You know, he'd hit rock bottom. Mate, and I tell you, I was lining up for a coffee and I was standing there and all the boys had obviously flown in from Brisbane that morning, all the AFL players, and they've come straight to the game. And I'm standing there next to Adam Uze and I've looked at him and I just wanted to give him a hug. I thought, mate, we both need this. We both need this. It was a bad couple of days for me. And I thought maybe the VFL would cheer me up, but it made things a lot worse.
Yeah, that's look, at the end of the day, I want to see misery for all the teams, but that's tough, man. Like 2 weeks of almost 100 points. I mean, we've been through it. I think we've all been through it. It's just fucking, you go there, you just want to see something. And you see that and you walk away. And if you're like me, you don't leave the game early. You just stay to the end and you feel the pain right till the end. And then you fucking, and then like you get an injury. And you go like, what else can fucking possibly happen? And, you know, as far as your coach goes, far out, this is one tough year, mate, for him. Fucking hell, mate. How much can you take?
Well, I think Uze summed it up perfectly. He said this year for him has been a little bit like a baptism by fire. I think that's the best way to sum it up. He's come in straight into a side that's been absolutely dismantled like this. So he really doesn't have a lot to work with this season. So it's just good getting games into the kids, I guess. But, oh, well, what do you do? It makes it a little bit easier knowing I can come home after those sorts of games. I'm a bit upset. I'm a bit flat. And I can sit there for the next 6-7 hours watching the 3 premierships on repeat. So that makes things a little bit easier.
I tell you the truth, like we were talking before the show, we go, and you go, mate, like fucking, I don't feel good about the show. I know you were a little bit joking, but at least this little bit of banter kind of makes you feel a bit better, I suppose, listening to us and others go at each other. So.
Oh, no, look, obviously it's just mucking around. I'll always front up. Doesn't matter how shit we are. I'll still be, doing this sort of stuff every week. Because like you said in the comment, Rocco did say this in our messages earlier, goes, it's a part of footy. You're shit sometimes, you're good sometimes, you ride the waves. And at the moment, the wave is quite shit. The tide is pretty poor at the moment for Richmond, but it's all part of it. And that's why you go to games like you, Rock. I don't leave early. I go each week. Unlike the violinist down there. So
it's like the plastic supporter over there doesn't go to games. Can you imagine if Collingwood are losing by 100 every week? I don't think Manny would even show up on the show, let alone go to a game, you know? Fucking hell, man. Like, it's tough, man. I don't look, at the end of the day, it'd be good to see all four up there, but it looks like it's not going to be this year for you, bloke. You're taking it fucking hard, and you're copy. And, you know, I was going to ask you a serious question, right? Right?
And maybe not even for Carlton.
Maybe
not even for Carlton. Maybe not even for Carlton. Because at the moment, if you think about it, out of our four teams, the only team that's really, really knocking on finals football and is a strong contender will be our friend Mark, who will talk about Essendon when he gets a chance.
Why? Because he's played like all the bottom sides.
So what? Had he lost from these bottom sides, what would you be saying now?
Yeah.
I'll be saying then you're really bad. If you lose, I know they're winning, but again, I was saying this before, man, and I was trying to get to a question, and I know you're trying to get back at me because you're a plastic supporter.
No,
and everything.
not at all.
No, you are because what happens is you are because what happened was
I am titanium.
Oh my God, I'm asking Quinn a question, and you just like it's like you don't listen. You're reading a script. It actually ODs me that you haven't got any original thoughts, right? But anyway, like I said, the year's long, and we'll get a whole look at it in about 6 or 7 or 8 weeks. All right, and then we'll talk. Because remember, last year we were in the worst situation, and we make it to a preliminary. So I know you don't understand how the game works, Manny, but just sit there and now listen to this question.
Lucky.
Yeah, lucky. Yeah, like you were lucky last year that you shouldn't have even won the grand final because each game was a rob.
Don't talk about.
And now I mentioned the grand final, and he gets punished. See the way this system works? This is what happens when you're the king of a country. See, this is what happens. I decide who plays and who doesn't play. I'm a communist. I don't give a shit. Now, Quinny.
Don't kick me off.
It's soon to be the Quinny and Rocco show, mate. The Quinny and Rocco. The Quinny and Rocco show.
So, Manny, you keep going. I'll just rip you off. You know, seriously, you are nothing to me. Like I'll just take you off. I'll replace you with my dog Cleo. Anyway, Quinny, the question I was going to ask you for a quick second. You were successful for so many years, one of the great clubs in the last 10 years, right? To go from there to such lows within 12 months. Like you got halfway through last year, you got Damien Hardwick, you're still looking, you're looking at like halfway through the year, you're looking at, we still got a chance. You top up your list because you think you're another chance. And now you've got to where you can't win a game and you're losing by 100. How do you take that? How does that, where does that take you to? Like you're from there to fucking you can't see anything, you know?
That's probably been the hardest part is that there was no preparation. Like there was no, the writing's on the wall. This is what's going to happen now. It just sort of happened so quickly. I don't know. We're probably leaning on the fact that we're probably using the injuries we've got as a bit of a Band-Aid at the moment to be like, we're only this shit because of the Band-Aid, because of all the injuries we've got. So we're probably using that to lean on a little bit, probably a little bit too much. And look, they've definitely made a difference, but we're probably leaning on that a fair bit. I don't know. It's tough. Like obviously you expect that once you're up the top for a little while, you're eventually going to fall down. But to have it happen as quickly as it did, while you watch teams like, Brisbane, Port, Melbourne, these guys have sort of been up in that top 4 bracket. They didn't win anything, but they're in that top 4 bracket at a similar time that we were, and they're still sort of contending. It makes you go, fuck, what did we do wrong? But then maybe the fact that we did win those flags cost us in the long run, if that makes sense. So I don't know. It's a tough pill to swallow, long story short.
Fucking, it would be a tough pill to swallow, especially when you're that good for that long. You can't see yourself ever being down, and then all of a sudden you're fucking at the bottom, barely. I mean, fucking hell, North win this week. I don't know who they got. you could potentially be on the bottom of the ladder. Like it's that thing, yeah. All right, let's go in because we are. Oh, you've been waiting for this. Here we go. This is your time. 1810 106 to 10666. North Melbourne. Here we come. Here we come to play. Just quietly, Mark, before you go into your game. I wouldn't eat too many marshmallows, mate. It looks like you should stop the marshmallows.
Yeah, they're nice. Put them on the fire, mate. Oh, I'm thinking about that with my chips. But anyway, look, cut a long story short, guys. Obviously, North was going to come out fighting. You know, they got smashed the week before. You know, the shin boners. You're going to come out. You know, we all expected Essendon to win, and you know, up until half time, I think we held them to a little bit of fight.
Sorry, can I just say something? Not everyone. Many picked North Melbourne to win this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, you know, obviously, like I was saying, Rock, that they were going to come out fighting. These are the teams that we need to beat if we're going to be contenders this year. Obviously, after halftime, we come out on top, won by 40 points. Again, Peter Wright, you know, obviously Langford didn't come out and kick 4 or 5 goals, but you got those second tier players, that depth in the side that can come out and you know, kick 4 or 5 goals, which, you know, Peter Wright did. Grolfy, another depth player there that come out and kicked 3 goals the last couple of weeks. He's been an asset to our team. Mackay, fantastic. He shut down Larky. So yeah, they're starting to get their mojo, the Bombers. We're starting to trust the team now. That's what I believe. That, you know, if we're going to struggle a little bit in the game, I've got confidence that we can turn it around because we've got a little bit of that edge, and it's starting to work out for the Essendon Football Club. And I'm proud of what they're doing at the moment, even though our percentage is probably not to the standard, but we're sitting second on the ladder. I couldn't ask for any more than that. Regardless of last year, we can all say, you know, this is where we were at this position, but we weren't. And also people are saying that, you know, we still got teams to beat out there, like, you know, Melbourne and Geelong and Carlton. But you know what? We can beat Melbourne. We can beat Geelong. We can beat Carlton. We've got Freo at home. We've got Sydney at home. So there is a little bit of a...
You've got Gold Coast Suns next year. You got Gold Coast Suns.
Well, you know, we'll go 1 week at a time, Manny. We're playing Richmond this week. We haven't got to the tips yet, so I'm not going to say anything about this week's game. But yeah, we've got Gold Coast over there, and you know, give and take. If you know, we can't win every single game. You know, it's still a learning curve. We're a young team, but people say that we haven't played the best teams at the moment. Well, Melbourne, they got smashed by you know, West Coast. Geelong, they haven't really been too convincingly. Carlton, I don't know what to say about Carlton. Freo, obviously, you know, we'll be playing
in a couple of weeks' time what to say.
Sorry, Carlton.
You'll know in a couple of weeks' time, brother.
Well, you know what? If it happens, it happens, Rock. You know,
can I now, because I research games and I actually watch
that's okay, Rock, because, you know, you might beat us in 3 weeks' time, but you might have lost the next 2 games. So
we might have, or we might have won the next 3 games, and all of a sudden you find yourself out of the 8.
No. You're already saying that you're going to beat us already. So you're already contradicting yourself by saying you're going to beat us. And
you're the fucking king of saying. You're the king of saying you've got to have 5. You've got to believe so. But when I say it, it's no good. Of course, I'm going to say it.
You're saying that you're going to beat us. I didn't say that. I said that everyone's pretty much saying that we still haven't played the top teams yet. Well, Melbourne really are not convincing to win. That we've got them coming up. Geelong, Carlton. Well, you know, it's a 50-50. Freo, Sydney, and so forth.
And this is when we'll know.
So.
This is where
that's true, but at the moment those teams are not playing to their potential, and they might. But the ladder prediction at the moment is that Essendon will probably lose one more game from now to the end of the year. So,
thank God. Who? You did the predict that you're only going to lose one more game?
I didn't predict it. There was a ladder prediction saying that we possibly might just lose one more game.
Someone's got to do the ladder prediction, Mark.
Yeah. So they're saying that 3 losses and 1 draw.
You've done the ladder prediction, Manny.
That's
anyway. Hey, can I just because you're going off with your rubbish here? So can I ask you a serious question about your side?
Okay, mate.
How do you feel that you are just 1 quarter wonders?
We're not. We play 4 quarters of football.
Oh, do you? So let's just do. And this is on the worst team of the league, right?
It's not the worst team
against North Melbourne. Is the worst at the moment. North Melbourne is the worst team in the league, correct?
No, you could say that. Yep.
All right. So in the first quarter, you kicked 4-2 to 2-2. So you didn't really dominate that quarter. This is against the worst side. In the second quarter, you kicked 3 goals to their 4. So you actually lost that quarter. You only won the third quarter because in the last quarter, they kicked 2 goals to 1. So you only won 1 quarter, Mark. So as much as you talk about other sides, you only won 1 quarter.
It's not about winning the first
quarter, but you just won the first quarter.
It's about playing 4 quarters, not about winning the quarter. Carlton have been winning quarters by 6 or 7 goals in a quarter and done nothing in the next 3.
So it's not true. Doesn't matter. That's not true because against Brisbane, I'll repeat this. Against Brisbane, they 47 points down to win that. You'd have to say that was a great second half. Against Richmond, it was a 4-quarter effort because we only just lost. But that couldn't have been 1 quarter, could it, Mark? Could it, Mark? Oh, then we had to buy North Melbourne. We beat them by 60 odd points. Wait a sec. That was 4 quarters. Against Freo, we won. So that was 4 quarters. Against Adelaide, we just lost by a kick. So that was 4 quarters. Against GWS, we won. So that was 4 quarters. Against Geelong, we lost by 13 points. So that was close to 4 quarters. The only team that I'd say that we lost all quarters was Collingwood. Right? And then against Melbourne, we won. So that was pretty much 3.5 quarters. We only played in the last 10 minutes. And against Sydney, we played 1 quarter. So these were your stats. But then when I give you your stats on the game against the worst side in the competition, you won 1 quarter. They bet you in 2 other quarters, Mark.
We're still competitive.
No, we're competitive against last on the ladder. You're a 1 quarter side. You are a 1 quarter side. That's all you did. You kicked 7 goals in that third quarter, and that's where you won the game against the worst side in the competition. And you are dancing around like you are premiership favourites. Please, Mark, I'm actually bored of your unknowledgeable about the game of footy.
We're sitting second and you're sitting 10th. That's all there is to it.
That's all right.
Case closed, mate.
All I'm saying is about your 1 quarter wonder that you are.
I believe that Carlton
you won 1 quarter against North Melbourne, and the first quarter you only outscored them by less than 2 goals. No. That is your effort.
It's still competitive football, mate.
1 quarter, Essendon. Thank you.
It's still being competitive football. You're not playing 4 quarters of competitive football. You're playing
either
1 quarter.
Either are you, Mark. You won 1 quarter against North.
Okay.
I am officially nominating you banana of the week. 1 quarter wonders. We'll see what you do against Richmond. Let's move on. You're a blazing screen. Come up with your who's the fucking spud now? Who's the spud now?
Put the ladder up, mate. Put the ladder up, mate.
Who's the spud now? Who's the spud now? You won 1 quarter against North Melbourne. Jesus Christ. Is that your whole thing? They almost beat you if it wasn't for that quarter. Relax.
40 points is not.
What a bunch of... Oh, look at this. The Essen drugs are sitting second on the
That's
false
all right.
economy.
That's
That's all you
okay.
do. You know what you've been doing?
No,
You're like a
Andy,
country that's printing your own money and thinking you're rich. You're gonna collapse.
Manny,
Anyway,
put the ladder on, mate.
I'm going to go with Petrocon. Come on, Mark. It's over, mate. Apologise, and show us those spuds that you were cooking that are called Essendon. That is Essendon. You won one quarter against North Melbourne.
Spuds. I'm going to put in a deep fry. Manny, come on.
Son, you won one quarter against North Melbourne. That was your whole game. You thought you'd come up here and be
put the ladder up. Let's see the ladder.
No, I decide not to.
But I like to read it.
I don't care.
Come on, Manny. Put it on, mate. Put it on.
Ask me nicely. Ask me nicely, Manny.
All right, we've got Sydney that's sitting on top.
I can mute you. Ask me nicely and I'll put it up.
All right. Hey, Rocco.
Here we go. Here's a ladder.
All right. So, look, Sydney at the moment, they're looking good. But having said that, you can't go off the game against Carlton because Carlton was fairly fucking average. Anyway, you got the Bombers who are sitting with 30 points. A very bad percentage, but they've still got 30 points. You got the Magpies sitting fifth. Carlton, are they in the eighth? Where's Carlton? Oh, Carlton's just outside the eighth. And of course, we won't talk about the Tigers. Fucking, they're looking shit ass at the moment. But you know what? You always have to have a couple of shit sides, and it just happens to be Richmond this year, Quinn. So don't worry about it, Matty. Don't worry about it.
Come on, Quinn. Get onto him, mate. Get onto him.
I've got not much to say.
I don't know what to say. The team is the team. All you can say is at least you support your side.
That's right.
I will say we are the only team that have beaten Sydney this year too. So I'll still rest my hat on that mantle at the moment.
That is true. They did beat Sydney.
And let me tell you, speaking of the Swans, by the way, because I know everyone's saying that this is Richmond done for the next 25 years or whatever the fuck you're thinking about. Yeah, that threw me there, Matthew, for a second. Sydney in 2019 and 2020 both finished bottom four. And then after that, have been, and then from bottom four in 2021, they went up to finishing the 8 again for the next 3 years. And now they're the best team in the competition. So it doesn't take long to turn things around if you do it right.
No, man, I'm telling you, like you get some, like you get a clean bill of health. You pick up a couple of players, a couple of young players lift, and all of a sudden, man, you're back up there again. And teams show that every year. Teams are at the bottom. And all of a sudden that they make their way up. Teams are up the top and then they fucking drop down. You know what I mean? So who knows? At the moment, you're having a tough time. You're one of the worst rivals. It is, but things will happen. Don't worry, man. Things, they come around, man. The pendulum always swings. Yeah, as he said, we're only one win away from third. I don't get it. Like everyone's like being too smart now, but next couple of weeks we'll next 3 weeks.
But you're not though. But you're not, Rocco. If you think about it,
are we?
Well, you're not. No.
Why?
Because you're basing it on you winning and everybody else losing.
No. I'm basing it on the ladder at the moment. We are 4 points away from third.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, for example, right, what game did we just lose? Let's say the Adelaide game. We win that one there, and all of a sudden we're third on the ladder. That's the difference. I'll give you another example, right? That Adelaide player doesn't get called, and they kick that goal. Where are you sitting then? You're sitting behind us. So you talk.
What are you talking about, Rocco?
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
Let's look at reality. Reality is right now that you are sitting outside the 8. Yes.
Yeah, I know. One game from third. Okay. That is reality.
Okay. Now, the other reality is that you played against the Sydney Swans and you guys look like pretty average, man. It was pretty
and
average.
we admit it, and teams have those games.
Yeah,
Didn't Mark side get look pretty average? Didn't Mark side shut up? Didn't Mark side look pretty average against Port Adelaide?
They look pretty average against West Coast Eagles.
Right. So what I'm saying is, you're saying, but in reality in this, and then what you say is, but you're sitting 10th. I give you a scenario which could have easily have happened. You could have lost that game against Adelaide.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
And you're only, after all you're talking, you're 2 points in front of us. And it's round 10.
Hey, 2 points can make a difference.
I understand, but right at this moment, I know we can make a difference, but right at this moment, sitting 2 points in front of us, Manny. It's not like you're world beaters. You just beat Adelaide, right? You're not world beaters. I would just relax. How about you go to a game?
I am relaxed.
And watch it.
I am relaxed, but you're saying that if you win, you're third. I'm saying
what I said was, if you open up that big head of yours, right? What I said to you was, we are 4 points from third. That's it. That's all I said. After how bad we're playing, you're only half a game in front of us, Manny. Relax.
Yeah, but I'm talking about me. I'm talking about Mark. Mark could say that he's a half a game away from being first.
No, he's not. No, you're more than that.
6 points.
You're 6 points.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right.
Where's Quinn?
Trust me, I don't know. He just disappeared. I think it must be the internet. Manny.
Yeah.
Keep in your lane, mate. You keep in your lane. I was at Mark, and then all of a sudden you had to talk. Like, keep in your lane, mate. You got no idea. Just do what you do best. Just do what you do best, and just do what you do best. Do the violin. Show the thing. That's as good as you get, Manny.
Hey, give credit.
Remember that movie? As good as you get.
Hey, give credit.
Quickly, Manny. Just besides the football, there's a Star Wars segment this week with what's his name again? What's the guy's name again with the green thing? What's his name?
Who, Chewbacca?
No, you fucking stupid bloody little doll there.
Yeah. What's Yoda? Isn't it Yoda?
Yoda. Yeah, Yoda.
That's it's this week, mate. There's a special this week for 30 years of Yoda and the Star Wars segment. You should be putting him on more often, mate. Come on, man. You should have done your
Oh, look into it. This is very interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We'll have to look at it, Yoda. Then we'll have to look at it.
Mate. Search it. It's the Star Wars, I think 30 years anniversary of Yoda.
Oh, there you go. Fantastic. Well, Jimmy, you don't have to tell me that, Jimmy. I know that. And you know how much grief I had to take from Morocco. You guys are shit. You guys aren't going to play finals football. And then we came back. We slaughtered the Bombers, and then we beat. We beat.
Again, you read something and you don't understand what he's saying.
I do understand.
What is he saying?
Of course, he's saying that you can have a team that can be playing shit football. And
you can't be like one way 1 week and then when it doesn't suit you anymore and then you just change it. Like, man, you got no idea about football. You don't understand the ups and downs of it. Anyway, let's go because we are rushing for time because I'm really sick of fucking bantering with you two. It's like actually fishing in a barrel with you two. But let's go into the games let's do the tips.
All right,
you know what I haven't played for a while? I'm just going to play it. I haven't played it for a while. Let's do it.
I know what this is. Yoda is back.
What's going on, Rock, mate? We should be putting that on all the time.
I always forget for some reason. I don't know, man. Remind me. I mean, why don't you do something for once and remind me, Mark? All right, let's go. First game.
All righty. Tomorrow night, we've got the Doggies taking on the Sydney Swans at Marvel Stadium. And I'll be tipping Sydney.
No, Doggies for me.
Doggies for you, yeah?
Yeah, Doggies for me.
Yeah, me too. I reckon the Doggies are looking good, and Sydney haven't got a really good record at Marvel Stadium against the Bulldogs. So I'm going for the Bulldogs for this one, Quinn, mate. Sorry.
No, it's fine by me. I have to tip them for work, so this is good. This is a little outlet for me to tip against them.
I don't know why you're saying sorry. I'm going to tip Sydney because, mate, they look good. The next one, we can show this one here. Let's have a look at this one. We got here the Wal Yallop. Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Versus the Filth. Friday, 24th of May at 8 o'clock. It's a late game. Oh, it's up there. That's why. Okay. Yep. So you'll be playing Fremantle back in Freo. What is your tips, guys?
That's a
bit bloody racist there, mate. What are you doing?
Not at all. I said that I'd like to see a great game. We're playing up at Perth, and I wish the Magpies win.
Hey, listen, anything Manny did there has got nothing to do with, I'm telling you now, that's got nothing to do with me, mate. That's all on Manny. So you're going to pick Collingwood?
The Magpies.
Quinn, I know you don't want to be associated with Manny now, but what do you reckon?
Yeah, that's thrown me. I'll go Collingwood as well.
Bad. You're going to go Collingwood? Yeah.
Collingwood,
and what about you, Marco?
No, at home, I think Freo, they're starting to also play some good football. So I think Freo will just beat Collingwood after last week's effort against Adelaide. I don't feel that they're convincing at the moment, Collingwood.
I think this could be the thing of the night. I think he's threw everyone off. I'm going for Fremantle. I think just over there, as I said, Collingwood just getting over the line. We'll see how they go. We've got the
best record playing interstate than any other team.
Yep, good.
All right, well, we'll move on.
Now, have you ever been to an interstate game?
Yeah, I have.
Mm-mm. I'm sure you have. You don't even go to the G. You're going to go interstate.
I've been to a game where I watched a bloke who had long hair and had a tight shorts, and his name was Warwick Kappa. Now I'm going back a long time ago.
I was going to say that, mate. 25
Rocco,
years ago.
I reckon it's before I say it. I'm going to why up. All right. That's the way you say it. That's the way you say it. Why? I thought he was going to set me up there, Rocco, and make me say something that I didn't want to say. Yeah, I'm going for Freo there. Yeah. All right. The North Melbourne, who actually played 3 pretty good quarters against Essendon and against Port Adelaide over here. So you know what? If they can reproduce that, because I'm sure Port Adelaide are better than a 1-quarter team. So I'm going to go Port.
Yeah, they're playing in Tassie as well, so North have the home ground advantage over there in Tasmania. But I'll still go. I'll still be going Port.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah, Port Adelaide for me.
Yep, Port Adelaide for me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty basic. It's fucking tough to see them win a game. All right, so we've got Carlton Gold Coast at Marvel on Saturday afternoon, 1:45. 1:45. That's actually a good time for me because I'm going out to dinner on Saturday night.
That would be
worked out perfect for me.
I think this will be game of the week. And I think that even though Carlton got thrashed last week by the Swans and they looked pretty average, I think for some unknown reason, I think Carlton is going to come back, but they'll still lose from the Suns. So Suns for me.
Marco?
Yeah, well, this game is the flip of the coin for me, to be quite honest, Rocco.
I have to admit, the Suns looked pretty good, but fucking Geelong has lost their last 3 also. They looked pretty good up there, but he's saying that it was fucking hot and sweaty up there, wasn't it?
Yeah, can't really should get the points, but they need to play 4 quarters of football. I think Hardwick will get Gold Coast over the line, but it's a flip of the coin for me, boys. So we'll see what happens. All right, so we've got heads.
Carlton.
Yeah, Carlton.
Carlton.
You'll get that.
I'm not going Carlton. The flip of the coin is.
Yeah, we usually play pretty good against them over here. So last year was this was our turnaround game. We played Essendon. We lost, and then we played Gold Coast, and they actually beat us in that first quarter, and then we kicked 9 goals in the second quarter, and we didn't look back all the way to the preliminary. So this could be the turnaround.
You were talking about you were talking on your show, Rocco, on the Jumper Punch last week, I think it was, or the week before, that you're talking about how they've got that young lady that plays the violin at the start of these Melbourne Victory games, and apparently she's a real hit. There's rumours going around there's rumours going around that Carlton might actually have this crew.
Don't play music, Manny.
Hey?
Don't play music.
It's a Carlton song. Can't you play the Carlton theme song?
I think you can. But I'm just saying, don't risk any music.
No, I'm just. I was going to just play the Carlton theme song because. See, you got the Navy Blues sung by the Chimpunks. There could be something in for you guys.
All right, fucking hell.
There you go. Get the kids to come and watch Carlton play. Carlton.
You know what? To the chat, like, I'm glad you waited for like 2.5 hours for that thing he tried to set up the whole. He must have been. That's why he's been talking rubbish through the whole thing. He doesn't know what he's talking about because he's probably been thinking about that. When am I going to play it? How am I going to set this up? That was great, Manny. Great. Oh, look at this. Everyone's fucking, mate. People are just dying of laughter over that. That was great stuff, man. You should become a writer for fucking like Saturday Night Live or something with that sort of comedy. All right, let's move on to the next one.
I could do some stand-up.
This is actually an interesting game.
I haven't done my tip, Brock. You skipped me.
Oh, didn't you say yes to the Suns? I thought you said that.
Oh, no, sorry. No, I know Damien Hardwick better than anybody, and he hates Marvel Stadium, so Carlton will win this one.
Oh, all right. Sorry. I thought you said yes.
Come on,
I might have said yes. No, sorry. That's my bad. I did say yes, but it wasn't to that. No, Carlton for me. But yeah, we move on. GMHBA, both these sets, like you said, Rock, big game. Both these teams need a win as well because they've both lost a few in a row and after looking really, really strong. I think being in Geelong, it just helps the Cats a little bit more. And I think they'll get Cameron and Hawkins back too.
Yeah,
so
that's the big one. That's
deadly.
The big one. Yeah. I'm going to go Cats too, just because it's up there. And fucking Giants, they've lost 3 in a row too. If you notice, like Carlton, Melbourne, Giants, and the 4 sides in the first of 4 or 5 weeks, and now all lost consecutive games. So there you go. So Cats for me too. I'm
going to call it a draw.
A draw?
Yeah.
All right. That's 5 points if you get it.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
And I need them.
Yeah, nah. I think Geelong at home, mate, will win. They'll get the 4 points.
Yeah, Cats. Done. Next one is, wow.
Dream time.
Let's do it. This one here. Richmond versus Essendon. 17th versus 2nd. Usually that would be the other way around. 7:40 on a Saturday night. So prime time.
Well, I'll be getting there at 2:30 to watch the VFL boys get a win, because that'll be our win for the day. So I'll be there nice and early watching that one. But no, look, I reckon it'll be more competitive than people think. I think because of that big game aspect of it, I think it'll be a bit more competitive than what you would think after our last 2 weeks. Big occasion, dream time, very special night. Mike, you'd know how impressive the night is over the last few years. It's always been a big game. Obviously, I don't really have much of a case to stand for, but I'll always tip Richmond, so I'll die on that hill. But I think I'm just looking forward to the spectacle. It's always a big night. I love the way they go about it, and I'll back my boys in regardless of where we are on the ladder.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yes, spot on.
You'd like this, you'd like Shay to Bolton the match winner after the siren. That would be nice.
Bombers for me.
That would be nice.
The Bombers for me.
Yeah,
thank you, Madula, for your kind words as well. Sorry to cut you off, Mark. Thank you, Madula.
They're one of the hot favourites to win the flag. The Bombers are one of the hot favourites for the flag.
I'm gonna fucking shut up, man. Fucking round 10 hot favourites. Shut the fuck up. Not even Essendon want to hear that, and you're walking around. Shut up. Unfortunately, I'm going to go for Richmond, but I'm picking Essendon. Does that make sense?
I'll take it.
I'll be rooting for Richmond. I'll be rooting for Richmond, but I'm going to go. I think Essendon will take. I think they're going to have one great. They're going to have their one great quarter. Don's to be a one-quarter wonder again, and I think that's what will happen. I think that they'll keep up. I think it might be a mirror of the North game. I reckon you'll keep right up there. The intensity will be right up. Essendon will get some like shitty free kicks, win the quarter by 3 or 4 goals, and then like win the game. I'm just telling you the way I think it's going to happen.
Without Rock and Quinn, I can understand that. I'm not going to mute you, Rock. I can't mute you, but at the end of the day, you're spot on, Rock. It is going to be
because I run the country.
I know, that's right, exactly. But just on the game, just a quick tip. I reckon it will be a good game. I think Richmond will bounce back. I can't see the Tigers getting done by 100 points in consecutive in 3 weeks. So I thought it would have been Darcy Martin's 300th game this week, but obviously it isn't. And I gave them not a chance, but I thought they were going to be a bit more competitive. So I think Dreamtime, Kevin Shetty, fantastic, mate. I've got a corporate seat for the game, so I'll be kicking back in my suit, having a few drinks and a nice meal. And I'll be going full on for it, mate. So if you're at the game there, Quinn, I might text you and come up and have a drink with me.
Why don't you Marco, go to the bar and catch up with Quinny before the game.
Yeah, well, depending what time I get there. So I'm working obviously on Saturday because I've got a few quotes to do for a couple of our clients for the Fourever Rivals and the Jumper Punch.
Hey, that's what I like to hear, mate.
Saturday, I've got a few quotes for these guys, and I'm offering 10% on the Saturday, so I'm working overtime. But I think I've got trust in the Bombers. It will be a good game. Don't get me wrong, Quinn. Honestly, I think you guys will take the challenge. We have to beat you guys to be competitive this year, and I think Essendon by 45 points, mate.
No, you guys are top 4. You guys are a top 4 side, premiership contenders. I reckon you'll kill Richmond.
Whether you're being sarcastic, Manny, or not, that's your choice. No, I believe it. We've got to win these games. Put him in the bank. Get the 4 points. And then once we get towards those, teams like Melbourne and Geelong and so forth, maybe we might just run them over, mate, and just go, see you later. That's another win.
Yeah.
That's another win.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I agree.
enjoy it while we can, as they say, buddy. Enjoy it while we can.
Definitely. Next game.
I'm glad I stayed for that fucking knowledge by Manny there. Just comes up with fucking gold every minute. I reckon this next game, just quietly, is I don't know what's going to happen for this next game. What is it?
Hawthorn Brisbane.
No, I know. I'm setting it up for Quinny. What is it?
It's Hawthorn Brisbane.
Far out. This is because Hawthorn actually playing some really good football at the moment. So, and you know what? And we've been saying it. I've been talking to Paul for a while about this. Hawthorn are doing all right, mate. They'll be all right. And Mitchell's a good coach, mate. They'll be all right in a few years, man. They've got a few players, they're playing their brand. They're sticking to their brand of football they want to play. Yeah, they might be getting beaten now, but I reckon it's going to pay for them. But in saying that, I don't know, man.
Brisbane do play well at Marvel too.
I know. And they, I know they smashed you last week, and we can't take that into this game, but fuck it. I don't know. What do you guys reckon?
Hawthorn for me.
Hawthorn for
me. Hawks for me.
Yeah.
I'm too far behind to be going the odds. I'm going to go the favourite and go Brisbane. I'm too far behind.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Quinn, mate. I think Hawthorn have been playing some good football, but I don't think they'll continuously start winning 4 or 5 games, 6 games in a row. Brisbane will contend. So Brisbane for me, it might be just, but I think within 2 or 3 goals, Brisbane.
Yeah, I really don't know, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks win, but I'm going to go with the favourites.
Ginnivan's going to be man of the match. Ginnivan's going to be man of the match.
He could if they win. If Hawks win, I could see Ginnivan being one of the better players for sure. Next one, Melbourne St Kilda. This is another one where I don't know.
Nah,
I don't know. Honestly, this may be a bold statement, but in this situation, I would honestly rather be a Richmond supporter right now than a St Kilda supporter. They're going that badly.
I don't know where they're at.
They're just, at least Richmond know where we're at. They're St Kilda are all over the fucking shop. So I don't know. And it's at the G. Melbourne do need to bounce back after the way they played last week. So I don't see Melbourne losing this game.
Yeah, Melbourne for me.
Yep, spot on, Quinn. Melbourne for me.
St Kilda, they are just like the most irrelevant side there are in the competition almost. They're just a nothing side, you know what I mean? They're just am I right or am I wrong? No one cares.
It's funny. We give each other shit and I hate Collingwood, I hate Essendon, I hate Carlton, but at least there's substance to your clubs, right? It might be a shitty substance like a bird shit or something, but it's substance. There's something there. With St Kilda, there's just nothing. It just dwindles away in the air. It's a weird club. It's weird.
And maybe it's Ross Lyon. Ross Lyon, maybe he's very defensive type coach. So
really boring.
He proved it. And to get him back was the weirdest thing for me, to get him back. I could understand him going to like another club, because at one stage we were looking at him. I can understand that. But to go back after he left St Kilda was the weirdest decision to me, man. Like, how the fuck do you take him back, man? I would have rather just brand new coach and start anew. But again, St Kilda are just, if you were a St Kilda supporter, at least the Doggies have won a grand final and been, but Venus and Kilda, they won one grand final by 1 point in year 66. And they're just nowhere, mate. Like,
I always put it into perspective like this. My old man was born the year St Kilda won their last flag.
Shit.
And there's a 30-year age gap between me and my old man. So I look at it that way and it just goes, fuck. I put it into perspective.
Wow.
That's sad.
I'd rather watch a grass grow. They have got this shit style. They just They just like stifle teams, mate. They can't score, and they're just nowhere. And this is why they lose games, mate, because at the end of the day, if you're not attacking, mate, you're not scoring goals, man, you're not winning games, mate. Like you got to, like I'd rather lose attacking than like lose every week by 1 point by being defensive. I'd rather lose by 3-4 goals attacking, knowing that we give ourselves a chance. But that's just me. All right. We've got last one. Oh, this is another interesting one, man.
Adelaide and West Coast at Adelaide Oval. I think it's the location that honestly helps me decide my pick on this one. Like Adelaide at home are usually a pretty tough team to beat. They've been playing good footy, so have West Coast, but I just think at Adelaide Oval, the Crows should get it done.
Adelaide for me.
Yeah, Adelaide for me too.
Yeah. I did predict this about 3 or 4 weeks ago when we played West Coast, that whoever goes up to Western Australia and plays West Coast, they'll beat some teams, and they've done it already against Melbourne. So, but against Adelaide at home, I think Adelaide will win.
Yeah, and I think with West Coast too as well, Mark, and you'll agree with this, but I think with West Coast too, where they're at, they're a bit like a Hawthorn. They're going to win a couple of games that they probably shouldn't here and there, but they're not going to win consistently. So,
correct. Yeah.
They'll be up and down. They'll be up and down. But I just want to say one thing about West Coast. They're not as bad as people think. Just remember, just a few years ago, they win a grand final, and they're down now. But I'm telling you, they got this player.
Players. Yeah.
Well, they got this one player, and you know who I'm talking about. He's a generational player. This bloke seriously could be the best number 1 pick I've seen in many, and I'm talking since Chris Judd. He's fucking like, not only he's huge, he's a huge, fast, strong midfielder. Like, you don't get these players, and you just see it, like that goal that he kicked, right out of the middle, running through. Not only he's pushing people away, right, then he's fucking killing them with pace, and then hitting the goals from 50 meters on the run. This bloke, I'm telling you, and you could see the rest of the West Coast players, they've lifted. This one player has changed their dynamic. Even the old players, they're jumping around him. They're loving him, And I'm just going to pose a question to everyone.
Is he as good as Nick Dacos?
Oh, he's better than Dacos. Are you fucking serious, Manny? Take off your fucking stupid glasses, right? Are you serious? We're talking about. What do you reckon, Quinn?
No fucking way. Last week, Nick Dacos gave him a hiding.
This bloke has played fucking 6 games, Manny. Are you fucking serious?
So what? You want to brag about him? So what? I asked you a question.
He's a generational player, because not only like Nick Dacos cannot do what this bloke's he looks 26 years old. He's 18.
He's taking hangers.
Huge, mate. He's got power already. He's got confidence.
Can I ask something?
You got to wait. Shut up.
I saw him wearing a Carlton jumper.
And another thing about him, you're talking about Nick Dacos in the Collingwood side. We're talking about Harley Reid in the West Coast side, and he's making them better already in fucking. I think he's missed a couple in like 7 games, mate. The bloke's a star, mate. He's the best number 1 that's come out since. They reckon like Chris Judd was the last best number 1 when he come out in his first season. He was phenomenal. They're saying that this player is bigger than Judd and quicker than Judd and doing more than what he's already done.
Yeah. And the beauty about it,
he was a superstar for the West Coast Eagles. He was a superstar.
Yeah. The beauty about it is he's from Melbourne or Victoria, so Essendon are chasing him at the moment. Giving him some big
that's bullshit, man. Everyone's chasing. You don't think that every club's put an offer out to him?
Like you spent money on him, Mark.
Essendon are after him. You don't think Carlton's manager has spoken to him. You don't think Collingwood's manager has spoken to him?
Carlton haven't got the money. Carlton is salary cap, mate. They're gone. Carlton is like they're.
What are you talking about? Next year, we get rid of players that are on high thing. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're paying fucking Ben Mackay 1.5 mil as if you're not going to make room for a fucking Harley Reid. Come on, mate. You got no idea. Shut up. Did you just see Manny go?
I am not convinced.
He wouldn't take Harley Reid and give up half his side.
I am not convinced.
Anyway,
I'm not convinced.
Manny, I'm trying to have a serious conversation. Fuck your shit side.
You look at
one
side
thing. He's a bunch of hacks. Shut the fuck up. Really, shut up. Anyway, this is the question I wanted to ask. This is what I was going to ask. You wouldn't take him. You don't even know who Harley Reid is. All right, listen. Last year, you don't know shit. Fucking Dacos better than him. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, listen to this. Last year, right? North Melbourne, right? Are losing. They come back and win that game to finish second on the ladder. To finish second last on the ladder. Remember that? And they lose Harley Reid, right? They lose him, right? Because they took the win, right? Was that probably the wrong move by North Melbourne? They were losing that game. They could have easily, I know people say about tanking, but you had nothing to gain there in that last game. Nothing.
No, I think we might have said this last week, and going back to that a little bit, I think that was up to the coaches and the management and all that to make it almost impossible for North to win that game. Like you said, Rock, when you're a player and you're out on that ground, you don't give a fuck about a Harley Reid that's 18, hasn't played a game. You're going out there to win. It was up to the club to make it almost impossible for North Melbourne to win, and I think that was a mistake that they didn't do that.
I never blame the players because the players will never throw a game because they're playing for their own careers. They don't care. But, selection, putting players in a different position, you know what I mean? You can do little things to quietly without making it so obvious to lose that game, man. And now that you see what Harley Reid's turned into.
Well, that's right, Rock. You think about Harley Reid at North Melbourne, if North lost that game, and Hall Francis at North Melbourne, which he left to go.
Fucking over. And we were talking about this last night.
Two fucking gun players an opportunity, and they've lost them both, really, when you think about it, in the space of 12 months or two years.
100%, man. And
imagine they were playing for them.
You get two players like that. I'm telling you, you get two players like that. And the other thing is, man, all of a sudden you get two players like that, that makes other players want to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you haven't got those players start thinking and going what am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not seeing anything, but I don't know. You look back and what can you do? And it's done. And you don't know if he's going to be the best. But I'll tell you now, everyone knew about Harley Reid before he got picked up. Everyone knew he was the best out there. I mean, they were talking about it halfway through the year, So
that's right. Yeah.
I wouldn't be throwing games like you say, are Richmond throwing games already? I wouldn't be throwing games halfway through the year, but with 2 or 3 games to go, I'm starting to put my players out for surgery, and I'm starting to
And that's not good for football, man. Yeah, that's not good for football.
Time will tell. Let's move on.
The other thing is, if there's someone did mention this, if he does go anywhere, he'll probably end up at fucking Geelong.
Yeah.
They're that's the type of team that kind of picks him up. Good fucking Dangerfield and that he'll be leaving, you know what I mean? He'll be perfect for them and they'll have a bit of cash and that. But anyway, all right, let's go into I just thought it was very interesting that, man, how good this kid was. Here is the tip ladder.
Hey.
Quinn on 44, Manny 53, Rocco 55, and Mark's gone to 58. I think Quinn and Manny had 4, I had 5, and Mark had 6 this week. Yeah, all right, up there. But just like your side, time will tell. Because if I remember correctly, you were also in front last year. It's very mirroring last year. Your team was in front, your tips were in front, and then you just fell away like the fucking house of cards you are.
Well, this time I'll be strong and I'll keep forward. The tips will be all right. Would I get Sydney or would I get Carlton this week? I'll be all right. I'll be all right. If I got Carlton, I'll be all right this week.
Let's see, between me and you, it's going to be, what do we got different here?
Manuel come up. He's got the pies there. Keep on going. The Magpie.
You know what happened, Mark, there?
Yeah.
We ended up tipping the same teams this year. So
this week.
So I can't catch up on you this week. So
well, maybe Magpie, Manuel. Or Quinn might even come up. You might get 14 in a row.
We only get 12 tips.
Quinn should just quietly pick a few draws, but that's the only way he's going to catch up.
Mate, if my draw comes through.
Yeah, well, if you draw Manny, you'll get 5 points. We said that at the start. All right. We got some people just joining us. I thought I was there. Yeah, she just come in. Hi, guys. So everyone's in there. All right. So we come to that time of the year, that time of the show where it's over. I feel a lot better now. Hey?
That's right.
I feel a lot better now.
Hey,
A lot worse.
Hey, Marco, and don't forget, Carlton's only a game away from being third.
I know. So all the other teams are going to lose this week. That's about, 7? What is it, 10th? That's about 7 teams?
No, not necessarily.
No.
So, all right.
All right, go. We're just stirring you up, buddy, mate. You've got to win.
You're trying to say Collingwood can't lose this week?
Yeah, well, if they win.
Yeah, you've picked against GWS.
But you haven't won yet. So
if we beat Gold Coast, so that we overtake them, and it'll be Fremantle. So we could actually, if everything goes on the tips that you gave, Mark, we could move over to like 6th or 5th.
That's okay.
And Collingwood, if they lose, could go all the way to 9th.
Correct.
So, so all I'm saying is, it's 4 points away from just weekly changes.
Oh, the comp's pretty close.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Very close, and you can
you've
see
got to win.
You've got to win. Apart from
because if can't get done this week, mate, I won't be talking about 1 quarter wonders, mate. I won't be talking about depth or nothing. I'll be just like, shit, I've got nothing else to say next week, mate.
And what if Essendon lose?
Well, I'll accept that. I'm happy with that. But
I'll accept that because you've got to remember that, again, last year, we were in a worse position than now.
But don't assume that. Don't feel that's going to happen again.
What I'm saying is, I'm just saying, last year we were in. I know what can happen. You're the one that says you never give up.
You're correct.
And now you're saying if you lose this week, there's a thing. So if we lose this week, we're still above. Wait a second, we're still above the ledger, aren't we? We're still 6 and 5 if we lose this week.
You'll always
if
be
you
there,
win
mate.
this game. If you win this game,
even Richmond,
probably fair.
If they win the next 14 games,
Richmond
win the next 14 games, they're still in there too.
You know what else? I'll tell you one more thing. If my grandmother had balls, she'd be my grandfather.
Yeah, if she had wheels, she'd be a bike. Yeah.
But Richmond is still never give up, Quinn. Richmond has still got a chance to make the finals.
Yeah.
They've got to win the last 14 games, mate. You take 1 week at a time, buddy, mate. 1 week at a time.
We even need to win the bye at this point, Richmond. We're going to win the bye.
That's just been.
I'll tell you
what.
In 10 weeks' time, you're going to be sitting there going, Mark, you're right,
not
mate.
only are they playing.
We're only 4 points away from third because we're 10th now, and we're only 4 points away from third.
Yeah, but there's a difference between being 6 wins and being 1 win. And then there's a difference between being 10th and being 4 points away from third to being second last, 1 win, a percentage of 50, and just been beaten by 200 points in the last 2 weeks. Do you think there's a difference?
Sometimes you need to get belted, mate. You need to get belted. Look what happened. Look, you know what, Rock? I'll tell you right now. Right? I'm gonna tell you something right now. Right?
Can you just stop because really you're doing my brain in. I'm already sick. I've taken days off work. You're making my brain swell, mate. Anyway, listen, I'm done with you. I gotta move on. Let's go. First of all,
like the brothers.
Just a few quick things before we go. Corton,
yes,
tell us what's going on.
Give us a call, 8339-4848. Security doors, blinds, outdoor blinds, zip tracks, plantation shutters, roller shutters, located in northern suburbs. Give us a call if you want a free measuring quote. It's that easy.
I love it. Just give him a call. And I guarantee this. I don't know much, but I know one thing. Mark is exceptionally better at making security doors than he is about talking footy. I guarantee it. He is a premiership team when it comes to doors. As far as the rest of his team, it's absolute rubbish. The other one is... No, you are a star, man. Seriously. You are a star, and you are a star at what you do, man. I'm telling you, I still find it amazing. You've been in business 19 years. You've been in business the same amount of times that Essendon hasn't won a final, and that is just amazing. Anyone that can do something for 19 years is just amazing. So there you go. The other thing I just want to quickly
we'll make
the link is below. Make sure we get down to the live events. This is going to be big. If you have fun watching us up here, imagine us on stage where I can actually punch him in the back of the head as he's fucking trying to get off the stage. Can you imagine how much fun that would be? $20 tickets. What can you get for $20, mate, these days? Nothing, man. This is going to be like pure. There's a bar there. If you do the $55, you see on the table, you get a free course meal. Mate, so for $20, for an extra $35, you go out for a meal. Where do you get that? Nowhere. You try to go and eat, unless you go to Snitz. You don't get that nowhere, mate. So everyone, make sure the link's below. Click on, and let's have a big night. You guys will be there. We'll get you up on stage, and I'm sure we'll have a laugh. And I'm sure Mark will bring his props. Let's hope they're not Essendon props. And the last thing, I forgot to show this. We did go to Burke Street Mall this week for Rocking All Over the Verbs. I won't show you the full thing, but I'll show you the snippet. It was on today. Make sure everyone catch it. Let's have a snippet and see what happened at the Burke Street Mall. When Essendon caught with drugs,
Oh, that's a touchy subject.
Tell us about how
we were not found guilty.
Yeah, but you got charged.
But we're not found guilty.
And you were guilty, and they took away your draft picks, and they suspended you, and they took away your Brownlow.
The media just blew it out of proportion.
You reckon?
It's the media.
Yes. Yep.
It's the media.
The media just blew it out of proportion.
And as you can see, we found Mark in about 20 years' time at the Burke Street Mall trying to defend Essendon still.
They're all the same. They're all the same.
I know, mate. I'm telling you, as soon as I seen him, first of all, he told us this story about how he fought this Collingwood supporter on the train because he told him to get out of the carriage. He's been to jail. He's coming up. Like, you get the best people. And then he went on with this, and I couldn't hold back. And I started giving it to him about the drugs. And he's defending it like staunch. He's sitting there going, mate, it was the media. And I'm just hammering him. Paul's just laughing his head off. And he's going, mate, I'm just fucking like the bloody drugs. And all I could think was, I was thinking, mate, not only does this look like Mark, this is Mark in 20 years' time. He's going to be walking around Burke Street. Oh, AFL, they fucking ruined us, so. Anyway, a bit of fun. Catch up with Rocking All Over the Verbs. Yeah. Mark was about to say so. He can't handle it. He can't handle it.
No, that's all right. It's all good. All in good fun.
He's probably related to you, that bloke.
Wouldn't have a clue who he is.
He was. I tell you what, there's some special people down in Burke Street, right? Just some special people in the city, and so that's it. We're done.
We're done.
How was that, everyone?
I hope your team wins. I hope your team wins, guys. I hope you guys do well.
I don't. I just hope Quinn's teams wins, but
I want to see Carlton move in the top 3. Very simple. Anyway,
you better hope you win this week, man.
Boy, I don't have to hope for anything. I won the premiership last year.
Did you?
You didn't win it now. So, guys, it's been a pleasure. Apart from you, Mark, I'm telling you, I keep losing brain cells listening to you. Quinny, fucking come on, man. You got to do it this week. You got to do it for the Fourever Rivals, mate. You got to do it for the Fourever Rivals.
If only I could run out there and do it myself, Rock. I would.
I just cheer loud, mate. Cheer loud, and I reckon we could get over the Bombers this week.
Good luck. Good luck.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, it's been fun. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Let's get into this. What am I doing? I'm always things. We got the bye. All I could say is go the mighty Blues.
Go, Tom.
Go to Bombers.
Bye.